Hi, I'm Gary Dickman, and I'll be joined by Tony Solito once again for the Summer League playoff games. We are here at the beautiful Clarence T.C. Ching Gymnasium on the beautiful lower campus at Maryknoll School. First game is completed, goes to end of the game of Solar Universe loses. They've been the defending champs for a few years. They lose to Well Strategy Partner. They will move to the championship game on Saturday night at 7 o'clock. Coming up in just a few minutes, we will have the second semifinal of the evening, and that will be Clark Hatch Fitness going up against the #1 seed, Central Medical Clinic, and that game starting in a few minutes. The winner goes to the championship on Saturday. Mild upset to say the least in the first game. Julian Sensley, who after Tuesday's game said that he has never beaten an Artie Wilson team in the playoffs in this league ever, made up for that. He has 32 points, leads Well Strategy Partners to the victory over Soul Universe, who has Derek Lowe, Zane Johnson, Brandon Spearman, a lot of good players. Again, a mild upset to say the least. In this game, Central Medical Clinic, as the #1 seed, is the favorite, but you never know in these games. And Clark Hatch Fitness has won 6 of their last 7 games, a very hot team, so we'll see how it plays out. And we'll be starting this game in about 4 minutes. We're going to get to talk to both coaches as well before we start the game tonight. I'm looking forward to a very good game, and I will be joined by Tony Solito, the legendary coach, as usual, joining us in just a few minutes. And hard to predict who will win. We've got some great players on both teams, and I'm looking forward to a very closely contested game. Should be a lot of fun. We are at Maryknoll School, where we will be on Saturday night at the Clarence T.C. Ching Gymnasium. You're welcome to come on down. And of course, we'll be broadcasting on Saturday as well on Olelo Channel 49. So we're looking forward to some great game, and we'll be ready to start this in just a couple of minutes. We'll get some insight from Tony Solito on the keys to the game, and again, talk to both coaches as they get ready to see who will advance to the championship. Both teams playing their best basketball of the Summer League in the last week or two. Again, Clark Hatch Fitness started off 0-4, went on a 5-game winning streak, and has gone 1-1 since then. So 6 out of 7 wins for Clark Hatch. They are the hottest team in this league, but again, they're going up against #1 in Central Medical Clinic. So kind of a toss-up to predict really who is going to win this game. Again, looking for a very close game, a lot of talented players on both sides, and great atmosphere here at the Clarence T.C. Ching Gymnasium. Looking forward to a great game. And again, we're going to talk to the coaches in just a second and get their take as far as the approach and getting prepared for the semifinal game here at Maryknoll. We'll be back in just a second and talk to both coaches. Hopefully we're getting them lined up. About 3 minutes away from tip-off, and we're going to get one of the coaches coming in here right now. And we're going to talk to the Clark Hatch Fitness coach first. He is getting set up. Tim Thorpe is joining us. I know it's a tight fit in here, Tim, isn't it?
It is.
Especially for us older guys, a little bit different. Well, congratulations on winning the other night, and now you're in the semifinal game. You're going up against Central Medical Clinic. What is your approach as you get ready for this game?
We played them last time we played them. Weight on Bill Amos, because he's like one of their main scorers. We really worked on him. The thing that they did, it kept them in the game. So we really just kept the body on him, made it a real physical game. We wore him down.
One thing I'm impressed with your team, as I just said, you're the hottest team in the league right now. 6 out of 7. You guys started off 0-4, but peaking at the right time.
You know, we had a lot of new guys come in. It was a matter of them starting to gel, and it came to a real good head. And we had a couple guys missing. That one game we lost, and that second half of this last game really kind of hopefully put it back to where it was.
I think it's a lot of fun to see both teams with their full rosters, like all the injured players are here, so that's always a good thing. I know you are missing Brandon Giawato from the University.
Yeah, he got hurt.
But everybody else here for your roster.
Yeah, no doubt.
But so look forward to a good game. Want to wish you good luck. I know you're getting ready for tip-off, and hopefully we'll talk to you after the game.
Thank you, sir.
All right, that was Coach Tim Thorpe from Clark Hatch Fitness joining us here as we are less than 2 minutes away, and we're hoping to get the coach of the Central Medical Clinic, Dave Patterson, is walking over right now. I think this is going to be a great matchup. Again, Keith Schamberger, the leader of the team for Clark Hatch Fitness. We'll get a few words in right now before tip-off as Dave Patterson joins us. Hi, Dave. Thanks for joining us. Get a tight fit in here. About a minute and a half away from tip-off. Your team was the #1 seed in this league. Was that a surprise to you at all?
You know what? We got there basically on defense and composure. That's because when you look at my team, I don't think of them as, you know, the most athletic team out there. We just have a lot of players that just love playing with each other, and they've really bought into the whole idea of defense. And as you know, in this league, and you know what I told them in the beginning of the season is, any night we'll score 100 points, but we keep our opponents to 80. We win by 20 every night. We did that for the first 5 games.
Only got a few seconds left, but what do you tell your team before this game? You tell them anything different?
No, you know what? I'm going to tell them that defense more than ever, because as you know, whether it's NBA, NCAA, when you get to playoff time, it does come down to defense.
And people not maybe expecting that in this league. We've seen a lot of it in the last few weeks, more so, and it's crunch time in the playoffs. We'll see a lot of that tonight. I know you've got a game to coach, so we'll wish you good luck.
Thanks,
and
Eric.
we'll talk to you after the game. Congratulations on being the #1 seed.
Thank you.
And that was Coach Dave Patterson for Central Medical Clinic joining us here. We are just a few seconds away from tip-off, and we'll get Tony Solito in here in just a few seconds. Nice crowd here, a bigger crowd than the other night. In fact, almost double the crowd of Tuesday night. Expect more of that on Saturday as we play the playoff games here at Clarence TC Ching Gymnasium here at Maryknoll School. And we're about ready for tip-off. We'll announce the starting lineup and get the keys of the game from Tony Solito in just a second. Scott Cato will be doing the jump ball. Got Keith Schamberger, Leon Ballard, former Chaminade player, John Avila, Tony Solito's player at HBU, and Kaunoa McGee, all for Clark Hatch in the starting lineup. Jump is up, and it is controlled by Keith Schamberger, number 20. He's done a great job in the Summer League. Will be the starting point guard for the University of Hawaii this season. He's covered by Kyle Pate for Central Medical. Gives it over to Cato on the right side. Over to Kaunoa McGee. Moves over to his left, goes up for a three-point shot, hits the front of the rim. Kyle Pate comes up with the rebound, brings it up the left side for Central Medical. Bill Amos posting low, being covered by Leon Ballard. And then we get a Joseph Keene gets up for a three-pointer for Central Medical, and it is good. Jonathan Keene playing at Ventura College. Great three-point shot by Keene.
Well, this is going to be a close game like the first one. Both teams played well all year. I think Clark Hatch is on a winning streak. And Bill Amos and Central Medical came back and beat Artie Wilson's team last game, so it's going to be a close one.
I think it will. Leon Ballard with the basket for Clark Hatch. The score 3-2, Central Medical with the lead. John Lane with the ball now, playing the point guard spot for Central Medical. Gives it to Amos, passes it over to Peterson, and he makes the jump shot. Misses the jump shot. It's still 3-2. McGee brings the ball up court, and he will get a screen set for him. Moves over to the left, back to Keith Schamberger at the top of the key. He looks for a screen from Scott Cato. McGee down low, right baseline, goes up in a little turnaround and hits the back of the rim and out. And we get the rebound by Peterson. Cord Anderson, sorry for that. He gets the rebound there, covering John Avila. Over to Keith Schamberger, getting covered tightly by John Lane. Goes in for the layup, switches over to his right side, misses Cato with the rebound. It gets blocked by Bill Amos. Leon Ballard with the rebound, gives it back to Scott Cato. Looks for an opening, gives it to Leon Ballard, posting down low. Goes up for the turnaround layup and gets it in. And it is 4-3, Central Medical with the lead over Clark Hatch Fitness. John Lane with the ball, being covered by John Avila, former HBU player for Tony Solito. Gives it back to Cord Anderson. Back over to Kyle Pate, another Yolani player. Give and go with Bill Amos. Anderson goes up, left-handed shot goes in, and Central Medical regains the lead 5-4. Keith Schamberger bringing up the ball, being covered again by Iolani's Kyle Pate, who played college basketball at Colorado School of Mines. Kaunoa McGee looking for the ball down low, no opening. Gives it back to Ballard. Schamberger gives it back to McGee down low. He spins right baseline, gets covered. Still going up for the shot, and he's getting double teamed and unable to get the shot off. Picks up the loose ball, back to Schamberger. Schamberger over to the right side, goes into the basket, passes it out to John Avila, thinks about a shot, fakes, takes another couple of steps, and hits the bank shot. John Avila for Clark Hatch Fitness, as they now lead 6-5. Kyle Pape with the ball for Central Medical. Gets a screen by Bill Amos, looking for the give and go. It works. Bill Amos gets the shot off, but it's fouled, and he will go to the free throw line for 2 shots. Nice teamwork there with Kyle Pape and Bill Amos.
Well, you know, that's a famous pick and roll play, and you know, people got to learn how to defend the pick and roll play. It's very effective. They use it all game, every game in the pros. So it's really a terrific offense. Some teams use it more than others.
If you can execute it, it's very hard to defend. If you use it to perfection, that looked pretty well done. And again, they've been together for a long time. And I think when you see some of these players who might not know each other or play with each other, by the end of the summer league, you see a lot of teamwork, a lot of chemistry as Bill Amos makes the first free throw. Makes the second as well.
Bill Amos and Kyle Pape are both on the All-Star team, along with Kalua McGee and Keith Schamberger. Keith Schamberger led the league in free throw shooting at 87%. He did a great job.
And McGee drives the baseline, misses the shot. He gets bounced around. Scott Cato brings the ball up, gets it by the three-point line, gives it over to Avila, who throws up a 3, hits the rim. Cato with the rebound, gets it up behind the back pass to McGee. Back to Scott Cato, thinks about a 3, instead drives into the paint, gives it back out to Avila. Schamberger at the top of the key. Drives into the paint, over to McGee for a 3, and that is nothing but net. Good teamwork, good passing there. Everybody touching the ball in that possession, and Clark Hatch gets the lead back.
That's what happens, Gary, when you get in the paint. You know, when you get in the paint, it gives you so many options. And Keith Schamberger, like I said the last time he played here, is always in the paint.
Really good player. Seems like he's getting better and better. John Lane with the layup for Central Medical. The score is now tied 9-9. John Avila bringing the ball up for Clark Hatch Fitness, and he's getting a screen from Scott Cato, and he'll move over to his left, gives it back to Leon Bauer, the former Chaminade star, over to Schamberger, over to the right. Scott Cato getting the ball down low. Thinks about driving baseline. No room there with Cord Anderson covering him. Gives it back to Schamberger, drives in the paint, back to Avila. He drives into the lane and tries a bank shot layup, no good. They get the rebound, a tip in is no good, and Schamberger cuts down with the ball. Very good rebounder for a guard. Schamberger thinks about a 3, gives it over to Kaunoa McGee. He is ready to try a 3, but gets a guy cutting to the basket, and he gives it over to Leon Ballard, cutting in the basket, and converts. 11-9 Clark Hatch Fitness.
The reason why Keith Schamberger is such a good rebounder is because, you know, Gary, he always follows the ball. He's a ball follower, point guard, and he's a ball follower defender. When the ball goes up, he leaves his man and immediately goes where he thinks the ball is going to go, and that's why he always rebounds really well. He's averaging about
Shows how smart he is.
Yeah, 8 or 9 rebounds in this league. He's really a smart ball player, and he's going to be a terrific asset at the University of Hawaii.
A lot of players just think the ball might go to somebody else and ignore it, but he goes after the ball. As you said, I think it shows how smart he is. Quincy Smith checking into the game for Central Medical. He's a University of Hawaii's player for this year, a new player, comes out of San Francisco, has missed the last several weeks with a right toe injury. He is healthy enough. He will be the backup to Keith Schamberger, and he's looked terrific in this league.
Well, Quincy is an outstanding player. He led his team to a 31-1 record at the point, and he's a very good point guard.
Kaunoa McGee goes up for a 3, misses. Bill Amos with the rebound. Looking for Quincy Smith, who is covered tightly by his teammate, Keith Schamberger. At least for the University of Hawaii, they will be teammates.
Johnny Avila.
Kyle Pape with the ball, gives it over to Quincy Smith. Back to Amos in the paint, being covered by Ballard. Moves to his right, throws up a little bit of an off-balance shot. It hits the back of the rim, no good. Clark Hatch Fitness with the ball. Keith Schamberger advances past midcourt, looking for a screen by Ballard. Covered by Bill Amos, a mismatch there. Gives it back outside to Scott Cato. Tries a 3, and he converts. Scott Cato is one of those guys. He can shoot 3s. He can score in the paint. He can score from anywhere.
Once again, he got a pass from Schamberger from inside the 3-second lane. Dangerous, dangerous.
Kyle Pape with a jumper from 14 feet. It misses. Clark Hatch Fitness with McGee getting the rebound. Gives it over to Schamberger. 14-9 Clark Hatch with the lead. 13:50 left in the game. Schamberger into the paint again. Dishes off to McGee, who had to alter his shot a little bit. Some defensive there by Bill Amos. And Kyle Pape with the ball goes off of McGee as he attempts a pass to Michael Harper. The University of Hawaii player from Australia had trouble with his visa, just got here about a week or so ago. He comes into the game for Central Medical Clinic. The ball will be inbounded in back of the basket with Jonathan Keenan bounding for Central Medical. Over to Quincy Smith, thinks about a 3, takes a couple of dribbles, moves over to his right, gets a screen, over to Bill Amos on a pick and roll, and he converts. You talk about the pick and roll, another example, and Bill Amos loves that play, and why not?
Well, I think Quincy Smith and Keith Schamberger are going to do dynamite for the UH this year. I really do.
Avila tries a long three-pointer, about 5 feet back of the line. It is no good. Central Medical trailing by 3. Michael Harper gets the ball. Full court pass, converts a layup after putting up a pump fake. And now it is Clark Hatch with a 14-13 lead. 13:05 left in the first half. And now we've got Noah McGee bringing the ball up for Clark Hatch Fitness. And he goes over to the right, a little switch, and Bill Amos was covering him for a second. Ballard is free, but they can't convert in the pass, and Central Medical on the fast break, and Jonathan Keene goes up for a layup, but he misses, and back comes Clark Hatch Fitness. Keith Schamberger with the ball, looking to get past Kyle Pape, pulls up for a jump shot, hits the rim and out. Bill Amos controls the rebound, and we've got Quincy Smith bringing the ball up. John Avila covering him for Clark Hatch. Over to Michael Harper. He's over on the right side, goes in for a layup, pulls back. It's a shot blocked by Scott Cato, and now Clark Hatch Fitness coming back with the ball and the early lead, 14-13. Keith Schamberger controlling the ball, looking to set up a play, get a screen set up, and stands outside. Gets shot clock is down to 15 right now. 30-second shot clock in the College Summer League here. Schamberger now covered by Michael Harper. Loses him. Amos picks him up for a second. Avila is free. He tries the off-balance shot. He does not connect. And Bill Amos fighting for the rebound, pulls it away from Keith Schamberger as they were about to go on a fast break, but Central Medical decides to call a timeout, and they do that. Dave Peterson calling the timeout. There's 11:59 left in the first half, and Clark Hatch Fitness with a 14-13 lead. Close game so far, Tony, like we predicted.
Yeah, you know, they're both about the same size. I think in the last game, the dominance by Julian Sensley, because he was the biggest guy on the floor at 6'9", and although Artie Wilson's team had some 3 UH players and Derek Lowe, you know, there's an old saying, speed gets tired, height never shrinks.
Love that.
And I think Julian Sensley showed that he did not shrink at all during that game. He dominated the game on the boards, dominated on offense.
32 points.
On defense. He did a great job.
We talked about that on Tuesday, that without Solo Universe with a big guy, even a 4 really, nobody in that position, that Julian might have a field day.
Speed gets tired. It really does. And, you know, height is just damaging in a basketball game.
Kyle Pape with the ball for Central Medical as they trail by 1 over to Quincy Smith over on the left side. And he is covered by Matthew Ching for Central Medical. Gives it over to Michael Harper, walk-on and scholarship player at the end for University of Hawaii. Over to Amos down low. He tries a pass. It is intercepted. A pass for Kainoa Peterson, who loses it. Schamberger on the fast break. And we've got Malik Fields. Misses his first shot, gets the rebound, and that gets blocked. Malik Fields trying to walk on for the University of Hawaii. Not sure if that will happen. They've got a big roster right now, but attempting to walk on. He has looked good at the Summer League, but wasn't able to convert there. And Clark Hatch Fitness will inbound the ball from out of bounds.
Well, you know, Fields fronted.
We've got Matthew Ching inbounding the ball.
Fields fronted Bill Amos. And when you front somebody, he better play it right.
Yeah. And
Bill Amos, for just a second, was a little bit disorientated, and he stopped him from front. If you front a person, you know, sometimes it's very effective. But you cannot play behind Bill Amos. Bill Amos will kill you if you stand behind him.
He'll have a field day, and he's been one of the better players, leading scorers in this league. Michael Harper up for the 3 for Central Medical. It is off the rib. Noah McGee coming back with the rebound, looking to go coast to coast. He dishes off to Ballard. It is knocked out of bounds off of Leon Ballard's hand. Central Medical will inbound the ball. Michael Harper about to give it to Kyle Pape.
He should have shot that shot.
Went all the way from one end of the court to the other.
Yes.
The last second decided to give that extra pass, but it did not work that time. Kyle Pape with the ball, over to Michael Harper in the right corner, back to Quincy Smith, ready to pull up for a jumper, tried the scoop shot from 12 feet. It is not good, but he is fouled on the shot, and Quincy Smith will go to the free throw line for 2 shots. As you mentioned, great player in JC in San Francisco, only 1 loss last year, and I think he's a guy who could probably start for a lot of teams. Right now it appears he would be the backup to Keith Schamberger. And I don't know, Tony, maybe it's you and I, but we've been here for 2 nights now. We've seen an awful lot of air ball free throws. This is the 4th one in a night and a half. Quincy Smith with an air ball on the first free throw.
I didn't see any air balls on three-point shots. But
Yes.
They make it on free. They make air balls on three.
I think that's the biggest weakness of some players here. That's happened a few times. Quincy Smith with the second shot. It is in. Looks like he was a little embarrassed on the first shot. And score is tied at 14-all with 10:40 left in the half. Matthew Ching goes in for a layup, loses Kyle Pape, and converts. Little spinning layup there. And Clark Hatch Fitness back with the lead, 16-14. Quincy Smith with the ball with Central Medical. Look for a little pick and roll. Bill Amos did roll, but the pass was deflected. He was unable to get it. Clark Hatch on the fast break. And a beautiful move right there by Trevon Tolagari, former player from Iolani, his first basket of the game. Nice layup there.
Oh, that was a great shot by Kevin. That's a very hard shot, too. He did a terrific job. He's from Iolani.
Yes, he's from Iolani, and as you mentioned a few times during the couple of nights we've been doing it, when you come into the game, it's hard to get off right away and get a shot. You've got to get your feet wet, get a little in sync, get the feel of the game, and he comes in and immediately gets a nice layup, and we'll go for the three-point play with the free throw right now. And it is no good. Hits the rim and out. Still a beautiful layup, though, by him. And now Central Medical trails by 4. Has the ball. Quincy Smith driving into the lane, does get fouled. Little stutter step by the free throw line. Went into the left lane and was fouled there. He will go to the free throw line. And I have a feeling this first free throw will not be an air ball.
He made a nice move to get open. He made a terrific crossover dribble. And now he's at the free throw line. I hope he didn't hurt his ankle. He's at the free throw line now. So let's hope that it's not an air ball.
Right, and he had, I think the toe injury is what was
that could be
keeping him out of
be
action
that.
for the last few weeks. It's his first game in over 2 weeks now in this league. And hits the front of the rim. The first shot is no good. And again, just watching him from the summer league, he's been so effective. His first game, 41 points, 11 rebounds. Checking in for Clark Hatch is Michael Thomas, freshman for the University of Hawaii out of California, much heralded high school career. And he comes in number 44 for Clark Hatch Fitness as Quincy Smith misses both free throws. And they still trail by 4, 18-14. Matthew Ching with the ball, covered by Quincy Smith. Quincy Smith fouls him, a little pushing, and they will inbound the ball outside. And also checking in for Central Medical right now is Jonathan Keene back in the game, hit an early three-pointer for Central Medical. He replaces Quincy Smith, and you hope that injury is not lingering with Quincy
I hope
Smith.
that's not his toe that's bothering him.
And especially if Gib Arnold is watching, we really hope there's nothing wrong with Quincy Smith. Ching with the ball, gives it over to Tulagari, and the shot goes over the backboard out of bounds. Central Medical will inbound. Back in the game for Central Medical, Cord Anderson, another former Iolani star who played at Santa Clara. He inbounds the ball to Kyle Pape, the Iolani connection in the backcourt for Central Medical right now. Bill Amos with a rare rest. He, for all the games I have seen, has very rarely sat down in any of these games, but he takes a rest in the first half. Might be a smart move, keep him fresh for later. Kyle Pape gets a pick and roll, goes in for the left-handed layup, misses. He knocks the rebound over to Anderson, who gives it over to Keene. That three-point shot is short. Central Medical with the Clark Hatch with the rebound. Matthew Ching brings the ball up court over to Kaunoa McGee, drives into the basket. He is fouled. Central Medical saying a jump ball, but he was hit on the wrist. And Kaunoa McGee will go to the free throw line for 2 shots. 18-14 lead for Clark Hatch Fitness. 9:21 left in the first half. Kaunoa McGee, another guy who's been in this league probably a good 5, 6, 7 years at least, and one of the better players we've seen.
Yeah, maybe longer than that. I'll tell you what. I don't know if he's a weightlifter, but he has a great body, and he just overpowers people in the low box. He's a very strong young man, and but a very coordinated and very fluent basketball player. I'm really surprised a guy with that kind of ability, so agile.
He's a fun player to watch, and he'll shoot the three, driving the paint, not afraid of physical contact at all. John Lane comes back, makes a layup for Central Medical, and they are down 20-16 now. With 9 minutes approaching in the first half. Matthew Ching with the ball for Clark Hatch. Scott Katso taking a pick, and Ching has the ball, gives it over to McGee on the right side. He's a little to his left, and he's still got the ball. He is waiting for a screen to be set, and almost a pick and roll does not work for Clark Hatch. Matthew Ching does get the ball, and Scott Katso with the ball, ready to shoot a three, fakes it, goes into the paint, takes a layup, it is out. He gets his own rebound and converts. Scott Katso, I know one of your favorite players at HPU.
He was.
Jonathan Keene bringing the ball down for Central Medical. Looks like they are ready to run every time there is a made shot or a missed shot, really trying to get their transition game going. John Lane pulls the ball out, looking for a screen from Cord Anderson. Goes over to the right, over to Keene. He gives it back over to Kainoa Peterson. And back to John Lane on the right side. He goes up for a three-point shot. That is short, and the rebound goes to Clark Hatch Fitness as Tulagari gets the rebound. Scott Cato with the ball, gives it over to McGee. Looks to set a screen. Scott Cato with a little elbow just to make sure Central Medical knew what was coming. A couple of elbows, in fact. And Scott Cato gets the ball baseline. And Michael Thomas unable to convert on the pass right in the lane. Central Medical coming down the court looking to get a transition. Kainoa Peterson with the ball. And we've got a few point totals that Bill Amos leads Central Medical with 4 points right now as Kainoa McGee gets the rebound off a missed shot. 22-16 lead. Leon Ballard leads Clark Hatch Fitness with 6 points as of right now as we hit the 7:30 mark. Matthew Ching with the ball. Cato setting a screen. Drives into the paint. Spins back up to Cato at three-point land. Thinks about it, goes to the free throw line, now gives it over to Kainoa McGee. He will try the three. That hits the front of the rim, and Kyle Pape with the rebound for Central Medical. He comes down court, waiting for his teammates to show up there and trying to get a screen set as well. Anderson does set the screen, a little pick and roll. It goes to Anderson into the paint, and a beautiful pick and roll there as Cord Anderson converts, and now Central Medical down by 4. 6:57 left in the first half as Matthew Ching advances the ball past midcourt. See a lot of pick and rolls for Central Medical as they try to run after every made shot, but a lot of pick and rolls, whether it's Bill Amos or Cord Anderson setting the pick. Missed shot by Cato, he gets the rebound. Looking for somebody to give it to, he gives it over to Matthew Ching, over to McGee, down the low block, turnaround jump shot, and hits the rim and out. Michael Thomas fighting for the rebound, but it falls to Jonathan Keene. He gives it up to Kyle Pape. And we will have another timeout by Central Medical. Clark Hatch Fitness with the lead, 22-18, 6:29 left in the first half. A close game, and I couldn't pick who would win this game. I do think this game will be close throughout. Both teams are that good. Again, Clark Hatch Fitness winning 6 out of 7 on a nice roll right now at the end of the season.
22-18 is really not a lot of points being scored, but I'm sure the guys will heat up as they get warmed up. Clark Hatch played and Central Medical did not play, and so they're having a little hard time adjusting to the court.
Right.
Clark Hatch has already played one game, so they're a little bit more used to the gym.
Acclimated. Good point.
We'll see what happens.
And we talked to Dave Patterson, the Central Medical coach, before the game. He said one thing he was going to tell his team is play more defense. Everybody's going to score a lot, but he really was wanting his team to play defense, know that can be the keys to these playoff games. Looks pretty good defensively for them, but their offense has got to get unraveled a little bit more. And hopefully we'll see more of that from Central Medical. As Cord Anderson inbounds the ball to Kyle Tate.
I'm not going to make a comment on defense.
I know. I remember you the night. I got a look from Tony when I made that statement that he doesn't think defense exists on any level.
every coach says the same. I'm going to play defense. Really? Okay.
Well, I know it exists in the military, maybe not in basketball. I think it does exist. I think they do play it, and especially at the end of games. And it's not going to be as tough as a regular season game, but I think there's still that element of defense. And Bill Amos is looking like he's playing defense right now. Goes after Leon Ballard, who tries to spin move, left-handed spin move. It goes in, and Clark Hatch Fitness with a 4-point lead, 24-20. John Lane with the ball. Bill Amos looking to set the pick. John Lane goes to his left, doesn't go after the pick on the right side, misses the left-handed layup. Keith Schamberger with the ball, who has not scored yet in this game. Over to Scott Cato. He goes up for a three, hits the rim and over the backboard, out of bounds. And Central Medical will inbound, trailing by 4 points, 24-20. As John Avila checks into the game, he will replace Matthew Ching, number 10 for Clark Hatch Fitness, another one of your players over the years at HBU. Kyle Pape bringing up the ball across the midcourt line. Bill Amos already posting and Scott Cato covering. And they've had some battles in this league, not only this year, but last year. And Bill Amos goes up for a little baseline move. It goes around the rim and out. Keith Schamberger bringing the ball up for Clark Hatch Fitness. Covered by Kyle Pape. Screened by Ballard. Goes to the left into the paint. Back out to Avila. Thinks about a three and passes it over to Schamberger, who gives it to Scott Cato, covered by Cord Anderson. Leon Ballard with a jump shot from 16 feet. It is nothing but net, and Clark Hatch Fitness with a 6-point lead. Again, this is such a small differential, but Clark Hatch Fitness has had the lead throughout the first half, over the first 15 minutes.
Yeah, well, in the summer league, a lead is not really a lead. You have to, wait till the end of the game. That was a little bit out of Bill's.
Yeah, so I was going to say, a lot of people are not shy about taking threes. Anybody in this league has taken them. Bill Amos, who has hit a lot of threes, actually, in the Summer League, misses that one. And Clark Hatch Fitness gets the ball with Leon Ballard being covered by Bill Amos in the low block. Turns around into the paint, gets a shot blocked by Bill Amos. Tony Solito, that was defense. And another good defensive play by Avila. Steals the ball, converts the jump shot for Clark Hatch Fitness, and now they have an 8-point lead.
Gary
28 to
Dickman,
20.
that wasn't defense.
2 defensive plays in a row, just for you. John Lane bringing the ball up. Looks for Amos, but he is covered by Ballard, who is fronting him. Now Amos gets back in front, looking to set the pick. And looking for a pick and roll, but Bill Amos out on the free throw line, wasn't able to get down. So we get Kyle Pape driving in for the basket. The attempted layup is no good, but he is fouled. And Kyle Pape will go to the free throw line for 2 shots as Konoa McGee comes back in the game for Clark Hatch Fitness, number 42, replacing Michael Thomas for the University of Hawaii, number 44 for Clark Hatch Fitness. John Lane inbounding. Over to Cape, way past the 3-point line, looking for the pick by Amos. It is there. Bill stays outside again instead of cutting. Goes for the 3 again and is closer, but it is no good. In the rim and out for Bill Amos. And Keith Schamberger bringing the ball up for Clark Hatch Fitness. 3:45 left in the first half. They've got an 8-point lead. Schamberger for the 3-pointer. And it misses, but Scott Conso gets the rebound. Times it very well. Back outside to Keith Schamberger. Gets the screen, drives left, into the paint, passes the basket with the low block. Looks like he's ready to go back, but is kind of covered in the baseline. Over to Ballard by the free throw line. He converts. Leon Ballard, nice shot. As you said about Keith Schamberger, he gets in the paint and can do so many things when he's in that area.
Whenever you're watching a ball game,
Kyle Pape with a 3-pointer for Central Medical, and they cut it down to a 7-point lead, 30-23.
whenever you're watching a ball game, somebody would always say to me, "Who's the better team?" And I always said the team with the best point guard.
Kind of like the quarterback in football. You really need that to be the leader.
Yeah.
And Tim Thorpe, for the coach for Clark Hatch Fitness, he will call a timeout. They've got a lead of 30-23. 2:56 left in the first half, and I know there's a lot of basketball to be played, but I think it would be kind of surprising to some people if Clark Hatch Fitness continues to lead and win this game. You would have the top 2 seeds, neither of them in the championship. I think that would surprise some people.
It might, but I thought that wealth strategy last game was a very, very good basketball. Anytime you have a player on the team like Julian Sensley and Solar has a guy like Derek Lowe, there's always a chance for stars to shine in the Summer League. And anytime you have a team like Clark Hatch where you have such good guard play and you have a front line play of big players and Kalana McGee, who made the All-Star team, you have a chance to beat anybody. The other team has Bill Amos and so Kyle Pape, so they have a chance to win. So,
And Clark Hatch Fitness finished 5-5 the regular season.
Yeah,
Central
but
Medical 7-3, pretty close there.
I think the first 5 games, Keith didn't play.
He played in one of them, and they lost their first 4, and then they won 6 out of 7
As soon as
since.
he came out, they played much better.
Different team, totally. And I agree with you about Julian Sensley having a great game. He said after the game on Tuesday that he has never beaten an Artie Wilson team in the playoffs ever in the Summer League, and he got his first victory tonight. Kanoa McGee tries a 3-pointer from the left corner. It is good for Clark Hatch Fitness, and now they've got a 9-point. I thought that was a 3. They're calling it a 2. 32-23 lead over Central Medical. Kyle Pape looking for the pick and roll with Bill Amos. It is not there, and ends up throwing the ball almost out of bounds. It is saved by Quincy Smith, but now Keith Schamberger picks up the loose ball. He crosses midcourt and is fouled by Kyle Pape. The right idea for Clark Hatch Fitness, just wasn't able to convert there. And Central Medical, again, down by 9. Plenty of basketball left. But the number 1 seed, I thought they'd be in more control of this game. Just shows how Clark Hatch is the hottest team right now. Sometimes that's more important. Keith Schamberger with the ball, covered by Kyle Pape. Malik Fields in the game for Clark Hatch Fitness. He gets the ball down low, moves to his left, goes in for the layup, and just misses, bounces out of the rim. And now Central Medical controls. John Lane looking for Kyle Pape down court, finds him for a 3-point shot, and it is no good. Amos with a tip-in attempt. That is no good. Clark Hatch Fitness controls the rebound. with Noah McGee controlling it, gives it up to Keith Schamberger. Looks like he's ready to run a little bit, get in transition. 9-point lead, 1:50 left in the first half. He gets the screen, open three-pointer for Keith Schamberger, who has still not scored, surprisingly. He misses that three. Quincy Smith comes down with a loose ball, and he is covered by Keith Schamberger as Central Medical trying to make it a closer game before we get to halftime. Bill Amos with the ball down low, moves to his left, turnaround jump shot. Good shot by Bill Amos, and he is pretty deadly from in the paint when he's taking those
can't play him back
shots.
of him. You can't. You either got a three-quarter front or full front, one or the other. Pick your poison. You can't play him back of him. Not big when he gets that low.
I would think you'd want to make him just work real hard to make him maybe get a little tired, just make him work for every basket and not make it so easy for him, which it appears to be at some time. Central Medical inbounding the ball. The clock has not stopped while the ball was out of bounds. A few seconds run off, and we are approaching the 1-minute mark of the first half. Quincy Smith with the ball for Central Medical. Bill Amos setting up the screen. Quincy Smith goes right, avoids the screen. Bill Amos still up top waiting for the ball, but we get a shot attempt by Ryan Reeves, who plays at Seattle University. He is fouled. Ryan Reyes will go to the free throw line for 2 shots as they are still trailing by 9. Central Medical trying to make it closer as we get closer to the end of the first half. If you're Central Medical, you've got to think about what adjustments you can make. Again, you're not that far out of the game, but what you've done with all the pick and rolls, Bill Amos down low. I can't believe, Tony, we just see another air ball three-pointer. This has got to be a record, or it's just you and me together. I don't know, but the first free throw attempt by Ryan Reyes is an air ball free throw. Second one is good. And that's got to be a record just in itself for most air ball free throws in a couple of nights. 5 and not even 2 nights yet, a game and a half, basically. Keith Schamberger brings the ball up court. There is 45 seconds left in the first half. 34-26 lead for Clark Hatch Fitness. He gives it over to Noah McGee. John Lane comes in the double team, knocks the ball out of bounds, and with 41 seconds left, Clark Hatch Fitness will inbound. Smart heads up play by John Lane. Maybe one of the older players in this league, but still a very good, smart player.
John, yeah, he's a smart player. You get a little older, you rely on brains a lot more than you do on ability.
I've been watching him for years, and he's still a fun player to watch. Keith Schamberger with the ball. 12 seconds left in the shot clock. He drives into the lane, passes it out again. Malik Fields goes in, gives it over to Leon Ballard. Fakes the shot, gives it back to John Avila. He is open for a three-point shot, and that hits the front of the rim and out. Jonathan Keene for the rebound for Central Medical. Quincy Smith now will hold for the last shot. Shot clock is off, 15 seconds left. And Central Medical looking to get the last basket of the first half. McGee picks him up now, and about now you would expect him to make the move with 8 seconds left in the first half. Quincy Smith looking for the screen from Amos. He gets it, but there's nothing there. Amos with the three-point shot, hits the front of the rim. That is out, and that will end the first half. Kind of a low-scoring half. 34-26 is the score. Clark Hatch Fitness with an 8-point lead, and they've been in control of this game throughout. I'm a little surprised at that. It's still half a basketball to be played, but the hottest team in the league is still very hot with that 8-point lead.
Well, they're playing a much better game, I think, than Central Medical. They're executing a little bit better on offense, and like you say, they're either Central Medical is missing a lot of shots or Clark Hatch is playing better defense.
You've been a coach for so long, and I've heard you tell stories about what you do at halftime. Sometimes you won't say anything. I know you've told stories like that. What will you say if you're the Central Medical coach, Dave Peterson, right now when they're trailing by 8?
Well, I don't know what I'd say. You know, I thought they ran a lot of pick and rolls, and they did a terrific job on those pick and rolls. I would continue to do that. They've missed some shots. I expect Central Medical to come back and even up the score and even go ahead later on in the half. I don't know if they'll win the game, but it'll be a lot closer than it is now. It's 8 points, and it's a kind of a lot 8 points. You know what I mean? It's not like
they've really been in the flow of the game.
It doesn't look like they're into the game. So I think they'll come back and do a good job.
Clark Hatch Fitness, we mentioned Keith Schamberger without a point. He does have 4 rebounds and 4 assists. We talked about his rebounding, and he doesn't really look to shoot. I mean, we've seen him so many times drive in the paint and just give the ball up to another player. He's looking to pass the ball. Very good team player. And we're seeing the unselfishness again with Keith Schamberger.
Well, I think, you know, a point guard has many jobs. You know, he controls the team. He's a terrific ball handler. He's a good scorer. We already know Keith led the league in free throw shooting, so we know he can do that. He's a terrific assist man. You know, he's probably a leader on and off the floor. And so if you cannot be good in one aspect of the game, if you're not scoring, then you should pick up your other parts of the game. And he does that very well because his team is leading, and he's had a lot of minutes on the floor.
And we've seen so many players score for Clark Hatch Fitness. Leon Ballard leads Clark Hatch Fitness with 12 points. Kanoa McGee with 7, Scott Cotto with 5, John Avila with 4, Matthew Ching and Tuangari both with 2 points. So balanced scoring. Leon Ballard being the only player in double figures. For Clark
Well, Leon's
Hatch
been playing a long time, you know, and he's very talented. He was talented at Chaminade, and now as he gets into his 30s, he's probably a little more talented because he has more experience. So, you know, he'll keep up the scoring, that's for sure. I just want to see how Central Medical does in the second half because they've only scored 26 points, and that's really not a lot of points.
And Bill Amos does lead Central Medical. He has 6 points. Kyle Pate with 5. Cord Anderson, John Lane both with 4. I would try to get Bill Amos more involved. I mean, you're not going to tell him not to shoot 3-pointers, but he's been so effective down low. I would try to get him in the paint. Maybe the pick and roll, but give him the ball down low and see what he can do.
Well, he's already proven to be a good scorer. The last game, he didn't show up the first half. They were down by 20. He comes in and they win in overtime. So we already know the effect he has on a game. So if they keep giving him the ball, believe me, Bill will keep scoring. If people insist on not giving him the ball enough, then they'll lose the game. You got to give him the ball. He's an all-star player. He's really smart. He played pro ball. He's a terrific player.
You know, we talked about Clark Hatch Fitness and the fact that they've won 6 out of 7 games. Their only loss was last Saturday, and that was without Scott Cotto. He did not play in that game. I think he's a difference maker, and he's only got 5 points for Clark Hatch Fitness, but you just see what he creates in the paint. Just his physical presence is so big of a deal when he goes up against Bill Amos or anybody else. Just in that area makes a big difference. He doesn't have to score, although he can, but he brings so many things to the Clark Hatch Fitness team, and I think he's a big reason why they won 6 out of 7.
Well, I think you were absolutely right when you said physical. Scott was always a physical player for us also. He just is, he's not afraid of contact. He goes after the ball a lot. He's very aggressive. And I think in a summer league, you know, he gives the team an edge when he plays. Whether he scores a lot of points or not, he doesn't have to score double figures to be effective. He's effective.
If you're Tim Thorpe, the Clark Hatch Fitness coach, what do you tell your team at halftime?
Well, I could tell them we're up by 8. Let's keep let's keep winning by 8 because we'll win the game. But you know, I think at this stage of the season and at this stage of their careers, they know pretty much what they have to do, and I think that they'll perform well in the second half.
Now, I believe we have Tess Whitlock with some interviews. We're going to cut away to Tess Whitlock and come back and get ready for the second half just a few minutes later, and we'll look forward to that. Again, 34-26, Clark Hatch Fitness with the lead over Central Medical. We'll have Tess Whitlock with a player. You don't want to miss this coming up in just a minute right here on Olelo Channel 49.
Here again, College Summer League 2013. I couldn't let the night pass without bringing in Julian Sensley. I didn't get a chance to talk to him after the game. Julian, I just want to jump right into it. How do you feel about tonight's game, and what did it take for you guys to pull out that game tonight?
Well, first of all, it feels great. It's a huge weight off our chests. You know, I've been playing this league 10+ years, and you know, I've come so close to getting a championship and always falling short. You know, we just one step away from getting that, but to be able to beat a team like, you know, Artie Wilson's team, who's usually, you know, got a couple of chips under the belt. They kind of like the Celtics or the, you know, or the Pistons in this league. And to be able to get a win, it feels great. You know, my team stepped up. Everybody did their role, what they were supposed to do, and we came out with a good win.
I was kind of kidding around with Marco Johnson, Julian Sensley's head coach. I was kind of kidding around with Marco before the game, and he said you were the veteran of the league and still the best player of the league. What is it took for you over these years to maintain such a high level where you can come home every year like this and still compete and beat all these young guys?
Well, you know, I'm not that old, first of all.
How old are you now?
I'm going to be 31 in 2 weeks.
Young boy.
Yeah, so, no, I just, you know, I mean, I'm still currently playing, so obviously that helps. You know, I'm still, you know, doing this, you know, in shape all year. But, you know, I mean, it starts with confidence. You know, I feel, you know, if I am the best, it's because I play like I'm the best, and when I step across them lines, I know I'm the best. So it's like, you know, I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm, you know, LeBron James or Kobe Bryant, none of that, you know. But for me, I just want to win, and I'm one of the more competitive guys in this league. You know, which sometimes I let it get the best of me, but I just, you know, overall, I just want to win. Whether it's me scoring 10 points and getting everybody else involved, or going for 40, you know, I just try to find ways to win. And, you know, I appreciate the respect. There's going to be a lot of doubters every year too, but you know that kind of drives me right there.
I think you're being real modest. To me, you are the LeBron James of this league, considering you can get your own shot, you keep people involved, you play the right way, you can go for 40 at any time, you rebound the ball, you're playing with a really good rhythm. This last question, talk a little bit about what it's going to take for you guys to win this championship Saturday night.
To keep doing what we're doing, defense. You know, we won these last 2 games off straight defense, you know, and I think when we play good D, it opens up easy shots for us on offense, whether it be transition, you know, and it kind of breaks the momentum of them. You know, one thing about this league, you know, it's a summer league. You know, some guys play currently all year and other guys don't. The team that plays defense in this league always wins.
Well, good luck on Saturday night.
I appreciate it.
Okay. Tess Whitlock, Julian Sizzling, 2013 College Summer League. We out.
Where he's coming from.
As Clark Hatch Fitness now with a 8-point lead, and they've been the better team in this first half. There's no doubting that. We want to see what Central Medical does at halftime to make any adjustments. Keith Schamberger attempting a rare shot in the paint, pulls up for a layup. Bank shot is no good. McGee tries to control the rebound, loses it, and now Kyle Pape with the ball gives it over to Bill Amos down low, and Leon Ballard really showing how he can still jump at that age.
Well, he's also fronting the low
Amos
post.
got it.
Yeah, he's also fronting the low post, Gary. You know, as soon as he fronts him, Bill's got to go away. He can't stay fronted, because if he does, it'd be too hard to get him the ball.
I think he would try to lob it over if you can get that kind of an angle. That's kind of what they just attempted, but Ballard still got to the ball and knocked it out of bounds.
Well, I think if you try that, there should be weak side help always there to help you out. Always, every time.
And Central Medical about to inbound the ball. 21 seconds left on the shot clock. We have just started the second half. 19 minutes and 19 seconds left in the game. And it's the first game, if you haven't heard, Solar Universe, the number 2 seed defending champs, does lose in that game to Wealth Strategy Party. You just heard Julian Sedley talking about the win. As Jonathan Keene hits a 3-pointer for Central Medical, and he closes the lead to 6, 34-28. He's been an impressive shooter. He's got nice stroke, nice follow-through, and basically nothing but net on his threes.
Well, I'll tell you, he's impressed me. I thought this shot was maybe a little lucky, but powerful. I thought his shot was a little lucky, but obviously it's good.
When it keeps going in like that,
It keeps going in all the time. He shoots it.
As McGee makes the shot, 36-28. Clark Hatch Fitness with the lead. Amos gets the ball and is right underneath the basket, turns it over his head, passes it in back of him, and Court Anderson gets the ball but was not able to get the shot off, goes out of bounds. Central Medical will inbound the ball. John Lane underneath the basket, covered by John Avila. And now the referees get involved, and they're just making sure about the shot clock.
You see,
not being reset. And now it is.
See, Gary, you can't front him unless he gets weak side help. You know, or they'll do exactly what you said, throw a lob. See, now he's fronting him. Now there's got to be weak side help.
And I just wonder if they've had that communication where if I'm going to front him, somebody better be helping me. Didn't matter on that possession as Clark Hatch Fitness gets the ball. John Avila drives in, gets the shot blocked by John Lane. And now Jonathan Keene on a fast break gives it over to Cord Anderson, and he makes the right-handed layup. Central Medical down by 6, 36-30. That'll be interesting to see about the defensive effort on Bill Amos. If they front him, will there be any weak side help or any help at all? Keith Schamberger brings the ball up for Clark Hatch Fitness. 4 rebounds, 4 assists in the first half for Keith without scoring, but didn't really shoot too much. Take a shot a minute ago, missed the layup. McGee gets the ball, double team down low. Back on top, Schamberger tries a 3-pointer. That hits the rim and out. McGee with a one-handed putback does not go in, and Jonathan Keene comes down court with the ball for Central Medical. He tries a 3, hits the rim and out. Scott Cato with the rebound over to Keith Schamberger as they cross midcourt with a 6-point lead. And a screen being set by Leon Ballard. Schamberger drives into the paint, back out to John Avila, over to Ballard in the corner, thinks about a shot and takes it back into the paint. Bill Amos covering him, playing some defense there, I might add, and Ballard misses the shot. Cord Anderson gets the rebound, and John Lane now advancing the ball. Gives it over to Amos. posted by the left block, over to Anderson. And he gives it back to Amos, throws the lob over Ballard and Amos. Amos gets the basket and the foul. Beautiful pass by Cord Anderson there. That would not have worked any other way.
Well, he backed him, and then he tried to front him, and then Amos backdoored him. So it was a very good offensive move on Bill's part. And a nice pass. It was a nice pass.
Cord Anderson, another guy who's been in these leagues for a long time, former Elani player, usually has his twin in here. Very smart player.
Very smart.
Talented, but you see the kind of passes he just made very often from Cord Anderson.
Well, I think that was their biggest asset at Iolani and at Santa Clara. Both of the boys were very smart.
Amos makes the free throw. It's 36-33. Clark Hatch Fitness with the ball. Scott Cottrell gets the ball, tried to give it to McGee. It is kicked out of bounds, and they will reset the shot clock as Clark Hatch Fitness will inbound the ball. John Avila inbounding over to Keith Schamberger. And they do not reset the shot clock, but they would do that at a kick. Schamberger with the ball covered by Kyle Pate. Over to Leon Ballard, pulls the ball back out. John Avila on the right side and back at the three-point line. Looking for the switch, it is not there. Ballard gives it over to McGee on the left. Cato posting down low, wants the ball. McGee pulls up for a jump shot right at the shot clock buzzer. It misses. John Lane comes down with the rebound for Central Medical. They are trailing by only 3. They are definitely back in this game, if not anything else. And Keene gets the ball, drives baseline, tries to lay up. It is missed. Tries to kind of bank it, kind of an awkward angle for Jonathan Keene. Keith Schamberger with the ball, pulls up from a couple of feet back of the free throw line. That shot is off, and Central Medical looking to run once again. John Lane has an opening, thinks about going in for the layup. Nobody covering him until McGee comes over and blocks the ball off of John Lane, and Clark Hatch Fitness will get the ball. Good hustle play by Noah McGee on that part. 16-12 left in the half, 36-33, Clark Central Medical trailing by 3.
That was a nice spot, very nice spots by Kanoa McGee. Very, very nice.
Schamberger with the ball, with the screen set by Scott Cato. Gives it back to Scott. Right back to the three-point line. He tries a three-point shot. That hits the back of the rim. Bill Amos with the rebound. And Central Medical looking to either tie or get within 1. Down by 3 right now, and they are definitely back in this game. Kyle Pape with the ball. Amos with the pick. Go for the pick and roll. It is not there. But Cord Anderson gets the ball. A little baseline jump shot. He hits it. And now it is a one-point game. 36-35. So as much in control as Clark Hatch Fitness was in the first half, that's kind of out the window now. This game is up for grabs. And Central Medical making a few adjustments. Showing a little bit more energy as well in the second half.
Well, I think typical summer league game, you know. A lead. After McGee made that 3, a lead is not a lead. You know, you could be up by 10, 15, It doesn't matter.
With all the three-pointer shot in this league, totally. But I think they just played a more aggressive style of Clark Hatch Fitness than in the first half. They showed a lot more energy, and that's what we're noticing with Central Medical right now. They seem to be more aggressive, running a little bit more, not allowing the fast break, getting back on defense, and they are back in this game. Kyle Pape gets fouled. He will be at the free throw line. 39-35 lead for Clark Hatch Fitness. Kyle Pape trying to cut it down to 2, and he misses the first shot. Trailing by 4, they'll try to make it a 3-point game with 15-12 left. And we've got Malik Field checking in the game for Clark Hatch Fitness. Scott Kotzel will get a little bit of a breather right now. Also coming in the game for Clark Hatch Fitness, Matthew Ching, number 21, coming in the game for John Avila. As Kyle Pape gets ready to shoot the second free throw. At least there wasn't an air ball there.
Yeah, that's unusual. We usually get those air balls.
Yeah. Just a matter of time as Pate makes the second shot, and it is a 3-point game once again. 39-36, Clark Hatch Fitness with the lead, 15:08 left in the ball game. Keith Schamberger brings the ball up, again covered by Kyle Pate. Gets a move by McGee, comes outside, gets the ball, down to Ballard, down on the low block. He's covered by Anderson, moves to his right, throws up a little jump shot, and it is not good, but there is a foul called, and it looks to be an offensive foul called, and I believe it is on Malik Field, pushing a little bit on that rebound attempt for Clark Hatch Fitness. Kyle Pape with the ball, looking to cut this lead. Down by 3, goes up for a 3, and maybe the tie, and it is nothing but net, and it is a tie game. We are tied at 39 now. Kyle Pape with a beautiful 3-point shot. 14:30 left in the game, and again, tied up. Keith Schamberger with the ball, drives into the paint, into the left side, gets double teamed, gives it back out to Ching, gives it to McGee at the top of the key. He drives in, right-handed bank shot, and it is no good, but he gets fouled. And nice play by Noah McGee. Again, as we said earlier, just never avoid contact. Kind of looks forward to it, it seems.
It seems like he does that. He's always at the free throw line. He's a very physical player. You know, he's got a great body, I said before, and he seems to handle it really well. He has a lot of agility and plays a good game both on offense and defense and rebounding the ball. He does a good job.
Well, he's one of those guys, and we have several of them in this league that can really do everything. I mean, if they have to play the 5 or the 1, they can do basically anything. Real good body, good size, as you said, good strength, and again, loves the contact. He makes 1 out of 2 foul shots for Clark Hatch Fitness, and they have a 1-point lead, getting the lead back. They have led throughout this game, never trailing. Central Medical just tied it a minute ago, looking to take the lead now. Give and go to Bill Amos. He gets the ball from Quincy Smith, who has just checked in the game, and Amos converts, and for the first time tonight, Central Medical Clinic with the lead. 1-point lead, 41-40. First one after about 26 minutes since they've had the lead, and it looks good for Central Medical. Now we'll see if they can maintain this, and it really looks like they're trying to use Bill Amos either on a pick and roll, give and goes, and just getting him to touch the ball in every possession.
Well, and I think that's a terrific strategy. Everything's got to go through Amos. He's the best player on the floor. He didn't play pro basketball for nothing. He's a good player.
Schamberger with the ball for Clark Hatch Fitness. Gives it over to Ballard in the paint. Goes up for a shot. It misses. Got a piece of it by Cord Anderson. Did get a piece of it. Controls the rebound. And now Quincy Smith for Central Medical. Over to Kyle Pate. Kyle Pate looks for the screen from Amos. It is there. Bill Amos cuts to the basket, but they see Jonathan Keene open. He gets the ball, tries to dish it off to Amos, and it's knocked away, and Leon Ballard comes up with it. Over to Matthew Ching for the scoop layup. That is in, and Clark Hatch Fitness back with the lead, 42-41. Quincy Smith coming up court for Central Medical. And we see Cord Anderson ready to set the screen. He sets it. Quincy Smith drives, looks outside, drives back in the paint. He falls down. And they are calling a foul, though Clark Hatch Fitness, their coach, their team, even their fans, calling for travel on that one. I'm not sure if there was a lot of contact there, but it was hard to tell. He might have traveled, but there might have been contact first.
Well, he's limping a little bit. I don't know if he should be out there, but he controls the ball when he plays, and he does really a good job of that too. He's a very talented young man. I can see by the way he walks that he is hurting a little bit.
Something going on there. First game he played in the summer league, he had 41 points, 11 rebounds.
Oh,
and
he's
we realized
for real.
Right then, this guy's a player.
No. He's for real. There's no question about that. I just think perhaps maybe his foot is not as in 100%.
Right. Again, this was his first game in a couple of weeks. He had the right toe injury. And there's a timeout being called by Clark Hatch right now. They have the lead 42-41. And I would hope and I would assume that with Quincy Smith, if it does really bother him and it gets that bad, he would take himself out of the game, where their coach would do that. We saw that with Isaac Botu a couple of weeks ago. Had the knee injury, left the game, and they were down to 4 players. National Fire Protection brought him in for the overtime period, but he insisted. He thought he was good enough, and he didn't do any further damage, but he has sat out the rest of the summer league, making sure his knee is okay.
Well, Quincy's, like I said before, he's a very talented player. There's no question about that. Injury just, and it's probably not a serious one, but it's a painful one. It's a painful one, and so he has to make sure he's 100% when he goes out there. He shouldn't. I thought that Derrick Rose handled it the best. He just said, "I'm not going to play. I'm not 100%. I'm not going to play." Because a lot of guys play at 95%, 90%, and I don't think that's to the team's advantage or to his advantage.
Right. You got to look at long term as well. Michael Harper checks in the game. University of Hawaii player for Central Medical, gives it to Quincy Smith. He gives it back to Harper, tries a 2-point shot. They're calling it a 2, and Michael Harper converts. And Central Medical now with the lead. This game is going back and forth. They lead by 1, 43-42. Matthew Ching with the ball for Clark Hatch Fitness. And he drives into the paint, goes in for the layup, and he converts. Nice basket by Matthew Ching there as Clark Hatch Fitness regains the lead. Central Medical looking to run once again. Michael Harper all the way down court, but there's 3 Clark Hatch Fitness players around him, and they knock the ball out of bounds. Central Medical will inbound with 12:55 left in the game, and Central Medical is trailing by 1 point. Kyle Pape with a give and go with Bill Amos. He goes in for the two-handed dunk. Beautiful move by Kyle Pape and Bill Amos. And Central Medical regains the lead 45-44 with 12:40 left in the second half. Matthew Ching with the ball. He's doing the point now. As we see Keith Schamberger with his first rest of the game. McGee tries a baseline jumper. It is out and goes out of bounds. Clark Hatch Fitness trailing by 1, missing the shot again. Keith Schamberger, the first time I've seen him take a rest in a couple of games, doesn't get to rest too much. And I think it's a smart move now. And probably won't be out too long, about a minute before he is back in.
Well, I think this is a critical part of the game. It seems to be that there's much more energy by Central Medical, and it's a very critical part of the game for Clark Hatch. They have to watch it.
As Quincy Smith has the ball, looking for Bill Amos, posting down low by Kono and McGee. They've had some great battles. Quincy Smith takes the shot off balance, misses, but gets the rebound and puts that in. Nice basket by Quincy Smith as he is limping going up and down the court, and hopefully that won't get any worse. As Central Medical now with a 3-point lead, 47-44. Matthew Ching for Clark Hatch drives in the paint, left-handed scoop layup. Beautiful move by Matthew Ching. Not intimidated at all. Nice layup as they trail by 1. And Clark Hatch Fitness down on defense with Bill Amos trying the shot. It goes off. Michael Harper with the offensive rebound from 8 feet. He converts, and now it is a 49-46 lead for Central Medical. This game has really gone back and forth over the last few minutes, and we've got Clark Hatch Fitness with the ball. And we've got Malik Fields trying to create something. He gets fouled over in front of the Clark Hatch Fitness bench, holding his head a little bit. They will get the ball out of bounds as Keith Schamberger comes right back inside out about 2 minutes as expected. I would imagine that's the last time he will be on the bench for the rest of this game. Too important of a player to have him on the bench for too long.
Well, now Clark Hatch is playing with 3 guards, so let's see how that works.
And a little pick and roll there as Keith Schamberger gives it over to Matthew Ching. He gets his shot blocked. Quincy Smith waiting for the ball to come to him, and Keith Schamberger comes over and knocks it out of bounds. I think Quincy Smith, in the second thought, might have gone after that ball a little bit more, but they do retain possession as Kyle Pape has the ball. Looking for Bill Amos down low. Quick pass and a quick shot over Malik Fields. Bill Amos converts with a left-handed spin move, and they are now up 51-46. We're seeing a big turnaround in Central Medical on a run right now as Kyle Pape gives the ball to Quincy Smith. Tries a behind-the-back pass, but pulls it up over to Michael Harper, who hits the 3, and Michael Harper started walking away knowing that shot was good when it was just halfway out of his hand. Nice stroke by Michael Harper. And now we've got an 8-point lead for Central Medical Clinic. The number 1 seed trailed by 8 at the half, and what a turnaround, 16-point turnaround in a little over 9.5 minutes. Quincy Smith gets the rebound off of a missed shot for Central Medical. He waits for Michael Harper, does a little stutter step, throws up a really off-balance shot, and kind of frustrated with himself. It is way off. Schamberger brings the ball out, and Schamberger passes it outside to Tulangari. He tries the shot. It is out. Schamberger with the rebound. He goes to look for a fadeaway. That is off as well. Bill Amos picks up the rebound. And Tony, a 16-point turnaround in 10 minutes, basically. That's a big difference for Central Medical. What a difference halftime might make.
Well, that's what I said at half. Let's see what happens in the second half, because they're a very talented team.
But as you said, they've really got the energy. We've noticed that with Central Medical. A little flat maybe in the first half, but totally different in the second half.
Big energy pick.
If you're Clark Hatch Fitness, you've got to try something different because, again, there's still a lot of time left with 10 minutes exactly left in the game as Leon Ballard, number 33, checks in for Malik Field. But they've got to turn this thing around because Central Medical is really clicking on all cylinders right now. Keith Schamberger with the ball covered by Kyle Pape. And you see a little bit more standing around from Clark Hatch Fitness in the second half over the last few minutes, where they had a lot of movement, more so in the first half. Ching in the paint gives it over to Kanto. He looks for a pass, nobody open. Gives it back out to Schamberger. Now a switch. He is covered by Michael Harper. Goes into the paint and gives it over to Matthew Ching in the right corner. Tries a three-pointer, blocked by Bill Amos, out of bounds. And see, Matthew Ching was kind of in no man's land. He started to go up and had nowhere else to go, no player to pass it to. Went up for the shot attempt, but is blocked out of bounds. He will inbound the ball for Clark Hatch. Over to Keith Schamberger. Tries a quick 3, and Schamberger converts. That's his first made basket of the night for Keith Schamberger. Three-pointer cuts the lead down to 5. Central Medical looking to run once again. Bill Amos cutting in the lane to the basket. Ball goes off of his hands, out of bounds, and Clark Hatch Fitness will now inbound. Keith Schamberger with the ball. Done a good job tonight. I imagine he has a lot more confidence making his first shot of the game.
Well, that was a nice shot he made, and you know that's the exciting thing about three-point shooting.
As Ching misses a layup, Bill Amos gets the rebound, but he is fouled. Bill Amos not too happy about this. And we've had a couple of slight altercations with these teams over the regular season, even going back to last year. And just good hard basketball to me, but Scott Cato stares down Bill Amos, and those are the two guys who've been involved a few times over the years. And just a little staring going on, a little talk going on right now, nothing serious, but Bill Amos does get fouled on the rebound. And Central Medical will inbound the ball. They're looking, now we're calling it an intentional foul. The referees meet, and they call it an intentional foul on Scott Cato. Going after Bill Amos. It looked like he was just going after the rebound, but again, maybe they have known what's gone on in the history with these two guys, and you don't want to let it get out of hand at all.
Well, it's hard for me to say because I really didn't see that incident, and I don't know if it was an intentional foul or not.
Yeah, I just wondered that had
he's
anything to do with the previous incidents with these guys.
Yeah, he's getting a free throw in the ball, so
right.
it is a big call.
Bill Amos, 2 free throws, makes the first, and again, as you said, they will retain the ball. And again, those guys have had a history. Scott Cato now laughing with the referee, and really good hard player, but a couple of weeks ago they had a little incident, and again, just pushing, shoving, nothing serious. A year ago, they both got ejected in the same game, a little altercation. So again, they do have a slight history. Hopefully it won't get out of hand. And Scott Cato covering Bill Amos, not giving up an inch. Bill Amos a little frustrated. We'll see if anything escalates with those two guys. Hopefully it'll be just basketball. As Quincy Smith brings the ball up front. Amos with the screen. Quincy Smith goes into the paint, switches hands, and gets the right-handed layup to drop, and is now a 9-point lead for Central Medical, 58-49. Matthew Ching with the alley-oop for Clark Hatch Fitness. That is off. Quincy Smith back to Michael Harper the other way. Thinks about a shot, goes baseline, and makes the left-handed layup. And now an 11-point lead for Central Medical. 60-49 to score, 8:40 left in the second half. An amazing run by Central Medical over the second half. And Tim Thorpe, the Clark Hatch Fitness coach, calls a timeout. He looks a little puzzled right now. Like up by 8 at the half. How did it get to this point so quickly? An 11-point lead. This game is slowly slipping away for Clark Hatch Fitness.
Well, you know, I think Clark Hatch went into halftime leading. I think they were leading at halftime, and now Central Medical's up by 11. Central Medical did not play a particularly good first half, especially offensively.
Right.
You know, they ended up with 26 points. Already they've almost scored 40 points with 8.5 minutes left, which means they've really picked up on offense. But not only that, their intensity up and down the floor has picked up. You know, maybe not necessarily their defense, because Clark Hatch has missed an awful lot of shots.
Right.
They've taken a lot, but they've missed a lot.
They look a little flat almost.
Very, very much
from the
so.
first
Yeah,
half.
very, very good call. They very much so look like they're flat.
Tempo really picking up for Central Medical. They have that 11-point lead. And I know I said if Clark Hatch continues gets an upset, this would be something to see the 2 top seeds knocked out. Doesn't look exactly like that now. As we get a foul call, and on Central Medical, so Clark Hatch Fitness will inbound the ball in back of the basket. Michael Harper with 11 points for Central Medical. Bill Amos now with 15 points. Kyle Pape, 9 points, all for Central Medical. For Clark Hatch Fitness, Leon Ballard still leads with, he has 12. Kanoa McGee has 13. Matthew Ching with 8. John Avila 4. Schamberger with 3 points. And Scott Cato with 5. Clark Hatch Fitness inbounding the ball. Way past midcourt. Schamberger picks it up. Kyle Pape covering him, looking for the screen, and gives it back to Leon Ballard by the free throw line. He pulls back, doesn't see a shot there, gives it back to Schamberger. He drives to his left, goes into the paint, fakes, and then gets a shot blocked by Cord Anderson. Keith Schamberger had the first shot, thought twice about it. Second one attempt did get blocked as Central Medical with the ball. Kyle Pape over to Quincy Smith in the corner. Nice lob pass to Bill Amos, who really just threw up a shot knowing he was going to get fouled. Throws a little shocker to the TV camera as he's on the ground. I think Bill Amos just knew the contact was coming, just throw it up and get a 2-shot foul out of it.
Well, you know, once again, you can't front unless you get weak side help, and there was no weak side help given by the defensive player, and you have to be able to do that if you're going to front a play, because they're going to figure it out sooner or later that you're fronting them.
And we were wondering what Central Medical would do if they do front them, if Clark Hatch does that, what approach they would do. And it looks like what they are doing is getting the ball quickly to Bill Amos. They're not waiting for the setup there. They're just going to him right away, and hopefully he'll get the advantage or a little separation from
Well, I think what they've done is noticed that there is no weak side help, so you might as well keep throwing him the ball.
Schamberger with the ball. 13-point lead now for Central Medical, 62-49 over to McGee. drive to the free throw line, over to Ballard, tries a three-pointer, and that shot bounces up over the rim and backs down. He gets the three-point shot for Leon Ballard, a 10-point lead for Central Medical, 62-52 as we approach the 7-minute and 30-second mark of the second half. And the referee calls a carry on Quincy, but that is something you don't see too much in these leagues, and it might have been. It was pretty close. Quincy Smith did not think so.
Well, I'll tell you what, I've been very impressed with Quincy Smith. He certainly is a clever young ball handler.
The University of Hawaii fans are going to love watching him over the next few years as Schamberger makes the layup, and they cut the lead down to 8. And Schamberger picking up his intensity, covering a midcourt over Quincy Smith, who thought he got fouled. There is none called. Kyle Pape with the ball, moves to his left, gives it to Bill Amos in the paint. Back out to Quincy Smith for a three, an open three, and that is nothing but net. Quincy Smith with a three-pointer, 11-point lead, 65-54 for Central Medical. Schamberger with the ball covered by Kyle Pape. Little bump by Leon Ballard there. Schamberger down low, gives it over to Leon Ballard in the paint, goes to his right, little jump hook shot, and that goes. And Leon Ballard is really effective down there. He's not the biggest player, but he's tough to stop, and just has a shot that's really tough to block whenever he's in the paint.
It's reached a point in the game where Clark Hatch cannot match baskets with Central Medical. They have to play better defense.
You don't want to be down by 6, 7, or 8 with a minute or two left.
But they have to play better team defense, or they'll be matching them basket for basket and lose the game. So there's only 6 minutes left, so they have to be very careful.
It seems like Clark Hatch Fitness almost didn't know what hit them. Central Medical, again, down by 8 at the half. Within 9 minutes, they had an 11-point lead, a 19-point turnaround real quickly. For as poorly as they might have looked offensively, they really turned it on, and Clark Hatch Fitness looked like they took a punch and didn't know what to do. They're really trying to come back from that right now.
Well, I think what hit him was Quincy Smith. That's my opinion.
He's done a really good job just with the three-pointer. Bill Amos
half.
also getting the ball, a lot better position, doing a great job in the second half. And Scott Cotso just about threw him to the ground. And as I said, they've got a little bit of a history. They've had some physical confrontation, an intentional foul on Scott just a few minutes ago. I don't know how many fouls he has. They're going to the 1-and-1. They're in the bonus Central Medical, but Scott Cotso has got to control himself a little more with Bill Amos. That was an unnecessary foul.
Well, he must control himself because Bill is an excellent free throw shooter. I don't know if he'll make these, but he certainly is a good free throw shooter.
And it looks like Tim Thorpe is realizing the frustration from Scott Cotto, taking him out of the game. Michael Thomas back in the game for Clark Hatch Fitness, University of Hawaii, incoming freshman. I think that's a smart move by Tim Thorpe. And Scott Cotto's an important player, but he's starting to lose a little control and can't just give Bill Amos 2 free throws that easily.
No, you just can't.
Bill does make a 1 out of 2. It is a 10-point lead. McGee controls the rebound, but it is knocked out of bounds, and they will retain possession. Clark Hatch Fitness with 6:29 left, down 66-56. Keith Schamberger with the ball, looking to move it up court in a hurry, and almost gets the screen by McGee. It is not there. Pape picking him up. Screen now by Ballard. Schamberger to his left, goes into the paint. Takes a shot, throws up another one from 2 feet out, and he is fouled. Keith Schamberger will be going to the free throw line. As you mentioned earlier, Tony, the leading free throw shooter in the Summer League at 87%.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to watch him shoot these free throws because all the points that Clark Hatch makes now are very important. They cannot give up any opportunities to score, especially from the free throw line when the clock is stopped. You're just getting free points.
You never want to do that, give them points when there's no clock. If the clock moves a while, at the end of the game, especially you like that, you don't mind, but you don't want to give them some free points, so to speak. As Schamberger makes both, it is an 8-point lead, 66-58. Central Medical with the lead, with the ball, 6:10 left in the second half. Quincy Smith with the ball being covered by Michael Thomas. A little surprising defensive matchup there. And he finds Michael Harper over on the right side. Fakes, drives into the paint, tries a layup. He makes it and is fouled. Beautiful move by Michael Harper. Didn't see much of him last year if you wait until the CIT tournament game against Air Force, where he got his first action in the first half, had a couple of steals, looked really good, and just back in town a week ago after some visa issues. Michael Harper, we'll see if he gets into the rotation this year, but a nice move in the baseline.
Is he a Conan O'Brien look-alike or what?
A little bit. I'm not sure that's a compliment or not, though.
I don't know.
I guess in this instant you would say it would be at least.
But his hairstyle and his looks.
It's out there, yes, it's out there.
He's
like,
right there.
a little different color, but the same effect up front. As Harper makes the three-point play with the free throw, Keith Schamberger with the ball, gets it inside to Leon Ballard. The ball is knocked away by Cord Anderson over to Quincy Smith. To Bill Amos, cutting to the basket is a little over Bill Amos's fingertips, out of bounds. Clark Hatch Fitness will get the ball under their own basket. They have an 11-point lead for Central Medical, 69-58 over Clark Hatch Fitness. And good try, good decision-making by Quincy Smith, just about 2 inches too far off of Bill Amos's fingertips. And it goes out of bounds with Keith Schamberger brings the ball, now covered by John Lane in the game for Central Medical Clinic. And you might expect Central Medical maybe to use the clock a little bit in the upcoming possession with a commanding lead as they have. Leon Ballard with the ball, the low block, covered by Bill Amos. Kauno McGee gets the ball, gets tied up for a second, out to Michael Thomas, who does hit the three-point shot. Nice shot by Michael Thomas for the University of Hawaii, and they cut the lead down to 8, 69-61, 5:15 left in the second half. Michael Harper with a quick three, and that goes in. He got the ball turned and released it within a second or two. He had it in his mind right away, I'm going up for the shot. He seems to be feeling very confident right now. And with the shots he's making, why not for Michael Harper? Good shooting night overall for Michael Harper. Schamberger with the ball, down to Leon Ballard. Back to Schamberger in the paint. Triple team, somehow gets the shot up. He misses. I don't know how he got it up over 3 guys covering him. And Central Medical gets the ball. Quincy Smith with the ball covered again by Michael Thomas over on the right side. Central Medical with an 11-point lead, 72-61. Quincy Smith tries to drive baseline. Michael Thomas is there. Now double team. The ball is just rolling around. Nobody knows where it is, but Leon Ballard does. Picks it up, gives it over to Schamberger. Looking at a 3-on-2 break. Gets the ball into the paint. Tried to pass it to Malik Field, but he is tied up. Keith Schamberger thinking he was fouled. The ball rolls out of bounds, and Clark Hatch Fitness will retain possession. 72-61, 4:25 left in the second half. The winner will advance to the championship game of the Hawaii Summer League, and that will be Saturday night at 7 p.m., 1 game only, and that will be Wealth Strategy Partners going up against the winner of this team. Julian Sensley leading his team to an upset victory over Seoul University, defending champs, Julian with 32 points. As they are wiping up the court a little bit, getting ready to inbound the ball, using the towel, and we'll see how long Scott Cotto is on the bench. I'm just wondering what Tim Thorpe will do. Again, I think you give him a rest, maybe get him to regain his composure, but it's getting to be, again, 4:25 left in the game. You don't have a lot of time left. I would imagine he'll be back in soon.
Well, 4.5 minutes, it's not a bad amount of time left. I just think that it seems like the flow of the game is going in the direction of Central Medical. You know, they've had a great second half, and they've come back from a deficit, and they seem to be playing much better. They're running better, they're passing better, and they're scoring a lot better than they did in the first half. And I'm just wondering if that's going to continue for the next 4.5 minutes, because if it does, Clark Hatch is in trouble.
I think if you're Clark Hatch, not that it's desperate time, like you said, 4.5 minutes basically, but you've got to do something. You've got to, first of all, get some defensive stops. But you've got to convert, and you can't, again, like you said earlier, match pass, but they've got to get it down to 5 or 6 points with 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes left. If they're down by 8 or 9 with 2 minutes left, and we saw that in the first game, it's just too difficult a deficit to overcome.
Well, the reason it's a difficult deficit is because if anybody makes a mistake coaching-wise or playing-wise, or misses free throws, it becomes paramount at that time, you know, because that is the crunch time of the game, and it's extremely important. So it once again, it'll be very interesting to watch and see who steps up in these next 4.5 minutes, because it's the swing of the game. It's getting close to the swing of the game.
And I would think Central Medical, I'm not sure how much of a conscious effort they will make, but I would think you'd want to use the clock a little bit. You've got the 30-second shot clock, and there's no reason to rush any shots. And, you know, Michael Harper just took that quick one for them. He was wide open, felt very confident. It was nothing but net. And he's been in a little bit of a zone over the last few minutes with all his made shots. But, again, the clock is your friend right now. I think you'd want to use 20 seconds minimum of that shot clock. Even if you can make a 2 or 3-pointer within a few seconds, the clock is your friend. You want to maybe have that wind down a little bit more.
Well, I think you would want to do that as long as you wind up with 2 free throws, a 1-and-1 or 2 free throws. I think Central Medical's in a one-on-one
They are.
situation.
They're the bonus.
Yeah, that's okay to kill the clock then when you're going to get fouled, but you can't kill the clock if you're not going to get fouled and make points.
Clark Hatch Fitness finally inbounds the ball. They clean up the court. Leon Ballard with the ball down low over to Schamberger. Little stutter step, drives in the paint, tries a pass, it is knocked away. McGee gets the loose ball, tries a three. That is an air ball, and that goes out of bounds, and Central Medical will inbound the ball with 4:11 left, up by 11. And we'll see after the timeout if Dave Patterson wants his team to maybe use the clock a little bit more. As John Lane has the ball and inbounding across the midcourt. Michael Thomas trying to pick him up. Lane gets free, tries up a shot. It is no good. And Keith Schamberger with another rebound. Again, down by 11, 3:55 left in the second half. 72-61. Schamberger looks to move the ball, but everybody covered. Tries to pull it back out. Now back over to Leon Ballard for a three. That hits the rim. That is out. Michael Thomas with it looked like it was a good offensive rebound, but he is called for going over the back, over the top foul on Michael Thomas for Clark Hatch Fitness. Central Medical will get the ball back and inbound with 3:44 left. 72-61 lead. As I mentioned, I didn't think Scott Cotton would be on the bench too long. He comes back in the game for Malik Fields right now. And again, they are starting to run out of time, even though there's a lot of time left. 11 points in 3.5 minutes will be pretty tough. The court.
Well, I think it'll be real tough, Garrett, the way they're playing. They're not playing very well. And that makes that 11 points look a lot bigger than it would if they were playing a little bit better.
The run Central Medical, again, in the second half, they have outscored Clark Hatch Fitness by 19 points.
Wow.
And it was a 19-point differential after 9 minutes of the first half as they switch basketballs. I've seen them do that a few times during the Summer League, and they've got a spare basketball, a little bit of condensation and sweat on the ball, and they will take care of that as Kyle Pape will go to the free throw line. And they're checking the referees and making sure they've got the right guy, and see if Kyle Pape will indeed. And they actually, it's like Kyle Pape might have tried to pull a fast one. And John Lane, who was fouled, and he will go to the free throw line as Kyle Pape has a slight smile on his face. Thinking he might, get away with that. But John Lane, a pretty good free throw shooter as well. He goes up for the 1-and-1. First shot hits the rim, and maybe if Kyle Pape was there, that might have gone in. But regardless, he misses. Keith Schamberger with the ball. 11-point deficit for Clark Hatch Fitness. Over to McGee, drives baseline, throws up a wild shot, goes nowhere. He retains possession. Give him credit for hustling on that. Michael Harper on McGee. Cotto with a slight pick over to Michael Thomas in the corner. He tries a three. That is way off. Ballard with the rebound. He throws up a wild shot, and that misses. And John Lane brings the ball up. Ford Anderson screaming for the ball was by himself by the Central Medical basket. John Lane, as he tried to look up, got fouled. And he will go to the free throw line one more time. And I believe this will be 2 foul shots now for Central Medical. 3:18 left in the game. Central Medical with an 11-point lead, 72-61, looking to advance to the championship game on Saturday night. And now the referees get together. That's what they call a double foul might be a double technical on Bill Amos and Scott Cotton. Again, this is not ended. This double technical is called. They weren't near each other at the time. I'm not sure what happened to make that call, but a double technical on Cotto and Bill Amos.
They must have said something, but I don't know what it was because I didn't hear it or I didn't see what was going on.
John Lane makes the first free throw. I think it's just more the history of these two guys that the referees don't want to let it escalate and get out of hand.
Was it Scott Cotto or Kainoa McGee? Because they said Kainoa McGee.
It might have been McGee on this one.
Yeah.
And Bill Amos looking bewildered why it was called. He was about 20, 30 feet away when they called the double technical. But
Yeah,
must have been said.
that's unusual because Bill Amos doesn't speak when he's on the court. Not at all. He doesn't say a word.
Very good player, had a good pro career, as you said, now back in Hawaii. Keith Schamberger with the ball. 13-point lead as Lane made both free throws. Schamberger being covered by Amos on a mismatch. Gives it up to Ballard. Back over to Schamberger. It's covered by Kyle Pape by the free throw line. A couple of feet back. Makes the jump shot. And there is a foul call. I'm not sure if that was called. And I'm not sure if that was called on Schamberger's jump shot or not. The shot should be good. They do put it up on the scoreboard now, 74-63. I think the whistle is not a foul. It's just a whistle being blown because of the court being a little bit wet. And they just want to wipe that up before they inbound the ball. So no foul. Schamberger does make the jumper. And now it is 74-63. Clark Hatch Fitness down by 11, 3 minutes and 5 seconds left in the second half. And Central Medical will look to inbound as they look to clean up the court. That's been a problem a little bit tonight during the game. I know the players really enjoy this court. This gymnasium is fantastic. Again, we are at Clarence T.C. Ching Gymnasium on the beautiful lower campus of Maryknoll School, and a great facility here. Nice crowd tonight as well. As they clean up the court, John Lane looking to inbound. And he gets the ball. McGee playing pretty physical against Kyle Pape, all over him. No foul is called. They get it to Quincy Smith at midcourt, covered by Keith Schamberger. And now you can see Central Medical looking to use the clock a little bit, pulling it back out. A second time Quincy Smith pulled it back, definitely using the shot clock as they are down to 17 seconds left on the shot clock. 2:50 left in the game. Smith still controlling the ball, goes into the left paint and misses the shot, but is fouled. He will go to the free throw line for 2 shots. I think that was smart for Central Medical to try to use some time off the clock. Nothing to gain really by shooting too soon. The clock, you want it to wind down as quickly as possible.
Well, when you have a guard like Quincy Smith, you're able to do that. You know, you can do that anytime you want, hold the ball, because you're not going to take the ball away from him. He's just too good a ball handler.
Quincy Smith does make the free throw, and haven't really noticed him limping over the last few
No, he
months.
seems he made a couple shots, so I think it kind
I
of
was just going to say that. I know that's your philosophy. You make a shot, you don't limp as much.
Nearly as much. You don't hurt as much, you don't limp as much.
Everything's better in the world as he makes the free throws. 76-63 Central Medical up by 13. They call a foul as Schamberger drives in for a layup. Doesn't make it, but it's fouled. He will go to the free throw line.
Oh, he called a
for
two-shot
2 shots.
foul, too. He called a 2-shot foul. Might have been before.
I think you just kind of in the air and try to get a quick release on that shot, and they do call it 2 shots. 2:43 left in the game, 76-63 lead for Central Medical. Tony and I will pick the player of the game in just a couple of minutes. And a couple of guys to choose. I know Bill Amos has had a great second half. Michael Harper's been on fire as well as Schamberger makes both foul shots. Lead down to 11, 70-65, but the clock also going down. 2:40 left in the game. Central Medical with a commanding lead and the ball. Kyle Pape goes in for a layup and knew the contact was coming, which it did. He will go to the free throw line as Scott Cotto fouls Kyle Pape. 2 free throws coming up. 2:35 left in the game. And he will try to extend this lead, getting it up to 15 points. And you and I had talked, we expected a much closer game, and it's been a tale of 2 halves so far.
Well, I thought it'd be a closer game. I was surprised that Central Medical came back so well in the second half. I said, you know, the game isn't even close to being over, so you never know what's going to happen. They only had 26 points the first half.
34-26
Yeah.
halftime lead, yes.
So I kind of thought that, well, and now they've already got 40 points in the second half, which is a lot of points to score in a half, and there's 2.5 minutes left. So they've done a terrific job to come back, and they've done I don't know if they've done a good job on defense or whether Clark Hatch just has missed every single shot they've taken, because they haven't scored very much.
Well, in the second half, if I've got it right, it's, I think, 51 points for Central Medical and 31 for Clark Hatch Fitness. So a 20-point differential here. And that's right, with 8-point lead. Now it's a 12-point lead the other way as Central Medical calls a timeout, and they will go back to the free throw line with a 1-and-1 for Kyle Pape. It's got to be a 2-shot foul. He's driving to the basket on that. So the referee signal 1-and-1, but that should be
Excellent
a 2-shot
free
foul.
throw shooter, too.
And Kyle Pape looks up and misses that shot, and the ball comes back down to Keith Schamberger. Getting to be desperation time for Clark Hatch, but Schamberger just goes straight to the basket, not even looking up. A little frustration there. He misses the shot, and he gets a jump ball for it. Looks like he might have fouled John Lane, but they call a jump ball. Clark Hatch Fitness retaining possession on the alternate possession there, the arrow pointing their way. Schamberger looks to inbound, and there's a whistle before the ball even gets inbounded.
That was just a silly foul. It just, I just don't understand why anybody would commit a foul at this time in the game with a lead. It's not a good foul.
You know, John Lane committing the foul. John Avila now going to the free throw line, and that will be a 1-and-1 for Clark Hatch Fitness. He goes up for the first shot, makes that. 77-66 is the score. 2:26 left in the game as Clark Hatch Fitness getting definitely in desperation time. Avila goes up for the second shot, makes it, cutting it to a 10-point lead. And I think if you're Central Medical, you just want to use the clock. At least 20 seconds. Clark Hatch Fitness, he's got to play really good defense and get a stop or two. And McGee fouled Kyle Pape, and that was like a frustration foul. I mean, he just bumped him. Definitely enough to have a foul called, and there was no reason to do that. He's dribbling the ball 30 feet from the basket, and not really going anywhere, but McGee, out of frustration, fouls Kyle Pape, who will go back to the free throw line for 2 foul shots, looking to extend the 10-point lead. And I can understand guys getting frustrated, especially guys like Kanoa McGee. You have the lead. Now you pretty much know this game is slipping away from you, and you just have a little frustration on your part.
Well, it's a time when it's very difficult to control your emotions. You get a little depressed, and a little bit upset, a little bit angry, and things aren't going right for you. It's pretty hard to hold your composure.
And I think it just shows you care a lot. I mean, Kanoa McGee's team was in the championship last year against Artie Wilson's team and lost that game, and trying to get back to that spot this year doesn't look too likely as Tate makes the free throw. 79-67, Central Medico up by 12. McGee with the ball goes up for a three-pointer. That barely hits the rim. Amos with the rebound gets it knocked away by Keith Schamberger, gets the ball back, and Scott Cato, as you would guess, fouls Bill Amos. Definitely just a basketball play on that, just trying to swipe the ball away. Bill Amos will go to the free throw line for 2 foul shots. And 2 minutes, 4 seconds left in the game. This game looks to be all but over unless something amazing happens. Got to give Central Medical a lot of credit, not only to win this game, but win going away the way they've been playing in this entire second half. As Bill Amos goes up for the first free throw, hits the front of the rim and bounces in. Bill Amos going ready for another free throw. 80-67 is the lead. 13 points with 2 minutes and 4 seconds left in the game. And Central Medical looking to go as the number 1 seed to the championship game Saturday night at 7 o'clock against Wealth Strategy Partners. Amos makes both free throws. 81-67 is the score. 2 minutes exactly left in the game. Schamberger's got the ball for Clark Hatch. Gives it over to Matthew Cheng in the corner. Tries a 3. That is no good. Michael Harper with the rebound. Quincy Smith gets it. Fakes a long pass. Holds on to the ball. Pate now tries a long pass to Michael Harper, who broke free to the basket. Gets the easy layup for Central Medical. Michael Harper with a really impressive second half. 83-67 lead for Central Medical. 16-point lead. Avila with the ball for Clark Hatch Fitness. Looks for an opening. It's not there. Now is covered by Bill Amos on the switch. Ballard for a three-pointer. Hits the back of the rim. Michael Harper with the rebound. Gives it over to John Lane. Central Medical just going to use the clock. Bill Amos gets the ball down low. Brings it back out. Gives it back outside to Kyle Pate, who will just hold on to the ball. Over to Quincy Smith. 15 seconds left in the shot clock. And we know that Central Medical will basically let the shot clock go down to about 2 before they attempt the shot. Quincy Smith trying a couple of fakes. 6 seconds left in the shot clock. He starts driving to the basket. Looked like he might have walked, and they do call the travel on Quincy Smith. But the good thing is they use 27 seconds of the shot clock to do that.
Yeah, well,
less than a minute left in the game. Keith Schamberger with the ball, gets into the paint, passes it over to Leon Bowell. The ball is knocked away. Central Medical and John Lane with the ball, and they will just look to run out the clock. 45 seconds left. An impressive win coming up for Central Medical Clinic. Quincy Smith with the ball over to John Lane. 36 seconds left in the game, and they will have to attempt the shot. The shot clock's got 12 seconds left. Michael Harper with the ball, and they will just passing the ball around, waiting for the shot clock to get down to about 4 or 5, which it is right now. Quincy Smith looking to get open, finds an opening, goes up for the layup, and that is a nice move by Quincy Smith. Was in traffic before that. It is 85-67, 18 seconds left in the game. Clark Hatch Fitness and Keith Schamberger looking for the 3. It is no good. Central Medical with the rebound will just run out the clock as there are 8 seconds left. Give both teams credit, but Central Medical with a really good second half pulls out the victory, 85-67. There is your buzzer. That is the final. We've got the matchup for Saturday night. Central Medical Clinic, the number 1 seed in this tournament, in this playoff. They will go up against Wealth Strategy Partner. And we will be back in just a minute. We will be joined by the MVP. We will also have a coach and a player all joining us here on the postgame. In fact, Tony and I have decided that Bill Amos is the MVP. So we look to get him joining us in just a few seconds. And I feel bad for Clark Hatch Fitness. They've had a nice run, winning 6 out of 7, fall a little bit short in this game. And exciting summer league. They've brought some excitement with Keith Schamberger and some of the others, but now they get to watch the championship game on Saturday. I think it's going to be a good matchup on Saturday as well, Tony.
yeah, it's the team that won the league, so that makes it interesting already. And they're going to play against a team that is spearheaded by Julian Sensley, so they'll be a little bit bigger. They'll match up with Amos a little bit better, and it'll be a terrific match between Bill Amos and Julian Sensley. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the finals. It's going to be a lot of fun.
And I've seen those guys battle it out at the beginning of the Summer League, maybe the third weekend of the Summer League. It was a great matchup where Julian's team had the edge in the first half, and Bill Amos, I believe, had a 23-point second half, and they won the first time those teams had matched up. By the way, Bill Amos, 22 points and 10 rebounds. And I'm sure most of that came in the second half for him. Also, Kyle Pape with 12 points and Quincy Smith with 12 points and 5 assists for Central Medical.
Yeah, Quincy played a good game. He played a terrific second half. He was a lot more consistent. It seemed like all of a sudden his foot got better, so he didn't limp. So that, that was a plus. But there's no question Bill Amos controlled the game on the boards and scoring-wise. They gave him the ball a lot, and he responded by doing very well. He played a terrific game.
We talked at halftime about the adjustments Central Medical would do, and not that they were out of the game, but they were trailing by 8, trailed the whole first half. And immediately in the second half, they came out on fire, looked to get to Amos, looked to run a little bit more, and got their up-tempo game going.
Well, I think once they decided to throw the ball inside, they're not going to be able to stop Amos. They just don't have the size inside or the players inside to be able to do that, and he really showed his skills. And there wasn't any doubt in my mind he was the most valuable player.
Yeah, we're going to be joined by Bill Amos in just a few minutes. For Clark Hatch Fitness, Leon Ballard with 17 points, Carnoa McGee with 13, Keith Schamberger 11 points, 5 rebounds and 4 assists. He got all of his 11 points in the second half.
Yeah, well, Keith didn't play the best game I've seen him play. If he had, I think they would have done a much better job. It would have been a closer game. But you got to give credit to Central Medical. I thought they played a good overall floor game, and they played good on offense, and were able to pull out the 16-point victory.
With Clark Hatch Fitness, maybe a little flat. I'm sure Central Medical had something to do with that. Keith Schamberger got the ball in transition, got the ball into the paint, found open players. They just weren't able to convert often enough for them tonight.
I don't think so. I don't think they played a very good second half at all. I think they missed a lot of shots. I don't know what the reason for that was, but they did not convert on a lot of shots. And so Central Medical did, as a matter of fact, and I thought they played a much better second half. Michael Turner, I thought, was terrific. He hit a lot of shots. He hit a lot of difficult shots, and he gave him a little bit of a spurt.
Yeah, he had a very good second half, and I'm trying to get the total points for Michael Harper, and he had 19 points. I think most of them in the second half. So what a shooting performance for a guy who started off as a walk-on, got a scholarship late for Hawaii, got here late this summer because of the visa issue, just got here, I believe, last Thursday, and he's making up for lost time.
Yeah, he did a good job. I'm really glad and happy for him.
And as far as Saturday night is concerned, I mean, I won't even try to predict a winner. I think it'll be a very close game. I think both teams are really good. And we look at what Wealth Strategy Partners did tonight, a very impressive victory over Solar Universe, the defending champs. I would not count them out on Saturday night.
No, neither would I. The thing is, whenever you have two teams playing together with individual stars like Bill Amos and Julian Sensley, it's just a matter of which one brings their game to the court, because they're going to determine the game. Who has the better supporting cast is going to help. And I think it's going to be a terrific game. I can't wait till Saturday. It's going to be a good one.
We've had so many exciting games in the Summer League, whether it's this year or last year's championship game. I expect the same thing on Saturday night. And again, these games are so much fun to watch. Hopefully the fans will be able to come out here to Clarence TC Ching Gymnasium at Marino School, or watch it on Olelo TV. We will have the game. But there's been a lot of fun, some really great performances, some unbelievable shots, great shooting performances, something for everybody. If you're a basketball fan, I would hope you could check it out one way or the other on Saturday night. Should be a good game.
Let me get out of here so you can get Bill Amos in and the coaches and continue with the interviews.
Okay, well, thank you, Tony, and we will get Bill Amos joining us here in just a second. And we'll get Bill Amos here. Don't have to worry about getting him mic'd up, but we do have a mic for Bill Amos, who is a tight fit. For whether you're big or wide, it is a tight fit. So a little of everything here. Bill, congratulations on the win. That was a tough battle in the first half. You guys trailed by 8. What was going through your mind in the first half, only scoring 6 points to the team?
I mean, they're a different team. They play a different kind of basketball. Most teams in the league, they start with big front line. I think we just took a while to get used to their collapsing down. I think we just needed to hit some shots as well. I think we had some pregame jitters and whatnot, being in the playoffs, and maybe a little bit of pressure coming in as the #1 seed. I think that was kind of playing with our minds. Our coach gave us a really good speech at half saying, it doesn't matter what we've done so far. don't worry about keeping with the number 1 seed. Just play like you guys can play. And I think that's what loosened us up, is we just played our brand of basketball and not worrying about holding on to our number 1 seed. We just came out there and took care of business.
Is it any tough adjustment to play on this court for the first time? Because you've been playing at Manoa Rec. The team you're playing tonight, Clark Hatch Fitness, played here on Tuesday, but this is you guys' first time on this court. Does that make a difference at all?
I mean, a little bit. I think that also played into us missing some shots in the first half, was just getting used to the court. But I mean, that's what basketball players do. You go and you play away games, and I mean, I don't think it really affected us too much in the end once we got used to it.
What was the difference in the second half? Again, you guys trailed 34-26 at the half. With 11 minutes left in the game, you guys had a 9-point lead. That was a quick turnaround, an impressive turnaround, basically outscoring them by 19 points over that stretch.
I mean, if you look at pretty much most of the season, we've been a second-half team. The first time we played Clark Hatch, we came out and it was a close game at half, and then we separated and won by over 20. Usually we play well in the second half. So I think it's just kind of a trend that we have. We have a lot of players. Our coach does a good job of getting us rest whenever we need it, and so we have maybe some fresher legs, whereas other teams may not coming down the stretch.
It seemed like you guys did this early off, and it was really effective in the second half, the pick and roll. I mean, you worked it basically to perfection, whether it was Kyle Pape or anybody else gave you the ball. Is that something you guys are very conscious of and talk about?
I mean, that's where I'm at my best, is in a pick and roll situation, pick and pop situations. I didn't hit a freaking shot today, but
you got enough inside.
Yeah. Yeah, pick and roll, pick and pop is kind of where I'm at my best. So I'm not a player who's going to catch it on the block and ISO, and I think we were doing a little bit too much of that in the first half. It's just trying to ISO me in the post whenever they're coming in with double teams and helping out really well.
With as well as you have played in the summer league, and I know you're on the all-league team, and that was an easy choice. Did you get the itch a little bit, maybe to play professionally again?
I guess I can go ahead and announce on here I am going to be playing again this year.
Wow.
Yeah, so I've got a couple of good opportunities right now. I haven't decided which way I'm going to go, but we'll see here in the next couple of days.
So we heard it here first, Bill Amos being a professional basketball player again. Wow.
Yeah.
Can you tell us any of the countries or teams involved, or is it too early for that?
Well, it's looking like it's going to be going into First League Germany, but we'll see how it plays out. I'll probably have to do some kind of a tryout period going over there after taking a year off, but yeah, I am making a comeback.
Well, isn't this your tryout period right here? I mean, you can just send them some tape from tonight's game.
I don't know if they'll take the Manoa Summer League as proof, but it's kept me in good shape and getting ready. So I'm really excited after playing.
When would the league start there? Is it like September, October, somewhere around there?
The league starts in October, but I'll be leaving probably on next Tuesday.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So hopefully go out with a bang, and that will be Saturday night. You guys go up against Julian Sensley and Wealth Strategy Partners. What are your thoughts on that game?
Julian's a really tough player. I'm looking forward to guarding him. We always have fun going against each other, so I'm really looking forward to that game. I love the challenge of guarding a really good scorer. So Leon Ballard's a great scorer as well, so that was fun tonight. He got me the best of me in the first half, but came back in the second.
You mentioned you guys are more of a second half team, and I remember the first time your team, Central Medical Clinic, went up against Julian's team. They had the lead at the half. I think you had maybe 4 or 5 points, something like that. And then at the end of the game, you've got 28 points, and you guys had a convincing victory. So it just seems, again, that's another example of your team being a second half team. I'm sure you don't want to start off bad on Saturday and say, well, you got the second half, but that has happened a lot to your team.
The thing with Wealth Strategies is they're a real streaky team. They have some really good shooters in Kavika Lyons and Julian Sensley and a couple other guys that can knock down shots. So it's really important to not let yourself get down, because they can jump on you quick with their shooting and their outside shooting and their talent.
Would you, I mean, maybe it's too early for this answer, but playing in Germany, if that's the place you're going to be playing, would you still be coming back here for the Summer League in the future?
Oh, yeah, definitely. My girlfriend's from here, so I'll be back out here during the summer times.
And I guess you would obviously miss the University of Hawaii season, where you've been a mainstay doing some announcing before and after the game on OC.
Yeah, I'm having to step away from that for now, but maybe someday in the future they'll bring me back and put me behind the camera again, in front of the camera again.
Right. Well, we like seeing you on the court. That's, I think, the first place we want to see you. It was a great performance tonight, 22 points, 10 rebounds, and Saturday night at 7 o'clock going for the championship. So we want to wish you good luck Saturday night and also in the future wherever you're going to be playing in October.
Thank you. Calling the game on Saturday?
Yes.
All right.
Me and Tony Toledo. Thank you, Bill. Appreciate that. Bill Amos joining us here on Olelo TV. We're going to be joined by the winning coach in just a second as well. And an impressive performance for Bill and the whole Central Medical team. And as we just heard, kind of the first time that Bill Amos will be playing overseas once again. Just got that official announcement from him a few minutes ago. Some breaking news here on OLL Channel 49, and we're going to be joined now by the winning coach for Central Medical Clinic, Dave Patterson, joining us. Dave, congratulations.
Thank you.
You told us before the game that I asked you what you're going to tell your team. You said you got to play defense. You got to play defense. These games are different. It's a playoff game. Play defense. First half, your team played defense. The problem is didn't have a lot of offense.
Well, can you guess what I told them at halftime?
What changed at halftime?
Well, we were pretty happy. First off, when I had to talk with my guys, they were pretty upset. And I said, that's not how we're going to win this game. Okay, we cannot be upset. Our defense is great. We just got to take it up a couple notches on offense. And offense is just about getting everyone involved in the game. I'm not a big fan of a lot of, just dribbling around. We have a couple of players who are used to playing that way, but the rest of our core team, we're used to getting everyone involved, a lot of pick and rolls, just moving the ball around. And, once we got the other two guys who, tend to dribble the ball more than they should have into the style that we've been playing all season, I think. You saw Michael Harper, who's going to be playing he played at UH and will play this year. I just talked with him simply about, just set up for the shot. Don't worry about taking it to the hole every time and look what.
He was really in the zone. We'll get to him in a second, but you mentioned having the team get everybody involved like that. Is that easier said than done? You see these summer leagues, and we got a lot of great talent out here throughout the years, but I just wonder when a coach says something like that, is that easy to accomplish?
It's easy with my team. I'm not so sure it is with other teams, but our team has bought into it. They've seen how we've had success playing that way. And even the guys on the bench, there was at one point where, everyone wants to play in Summer League, and I'm one of those who tries to get everyone in as much as we can. I was lucky in the beginning of the season we were winning by 25 a game, and we were able to do that. But at one point tonight, when we made our little run, I looked at my guys, I love you guys too, but this thing's working right now.
It's not broke, you don't have to worry about fixing.
Right.
Now, Quincy Smith, his first game for your team in a couple of weeks, he had the toe injury, I believe.
Right.
He comes back. We did notice him limping a little bit throughout the game. Did you talk to him about how much he was hurting at all?
I did, and I kept telling him. I said, at one point I actually said, be honest with me. He goes, Coach, I'll tell you. And that's where coaching really comes in, because you have to gauge those situations. No player wants to come out of a game, right?
Right.
And so even when he gave me the line of, I'll tell you, I'm thinking, no, I'll tell you.
Yeah. We noticed that when he made shots, there was no limping after the shots. When he missed a shot, then we noticed a limping coming back.
That is so
sign of a
common.
real player.
Yes, exactly. Allen Iverson, I believe, right?
I think a lot of players
Right.
have taken that approach. Maybe that's where he learned it.
Right.
When you go against the team, before I get to Saturday night, you had the commanding lead throughout most of the second half. Again, you were up by 9, 10, 11 with about 10 minutes left in the game, and it kind of was staying right around that point. They cut it down to 7 or 8 at one point, and that was it. Did you have any different strategy down the stretch? I noticed in the last 2 minutes you're using the shot clock, obviously.
No, very good point. What we did talk about in one of the timeouts is that, like you said, when we were up by 8 or 10, and there was about 6 minutes left, I told the guys, in this game, let's control the pace, because this is more like a 20-point lead because it was low scoring, right? And I always remind the guys. I like to push the ball more, but I always remind the guys to remember how we got to where we got to and continue to play that game, because you have a tendency when you start playing well, then guys, especially in a league like this, they want to start getting their stats up. So that's all I told them. I said, just control the pace, because there's no way they're coming back at this pace.
You got Julian Sensley on Saturday, one of the better players in the league this year and 4 years. You had 32 tonight. What do you do to try to slow him down?
Well, what I've noticed as I've watched him play over the years, he hangs out around the perimeter a lot. He used to have a little bit more of an inside game, so I think we just have to concentrate on shutting out his outside game. The first time we played the team, we beat him pretty easily, and Julian wasn't hitting. And then in the second game, I believe he wasn't even there, and we got beat by them. Really, a guy you got to look at is like a guy like Kavika Lyons, who comes in and
best three-point shooter in this league.
Absolutely, and you don't think of him as a threat, but he is.
He has been in this league.
Yeah, so I think what we got to do is keep him out of their three-point game. The number one thing that I keep harping on is boxing out. You don't see that much in this league, because everyone wants to out-jump each other, right? But you don't want to lose a game because someone got that second chance opportunity.
Well, great game tonight. Want to wish you good luck
Thank
on
you.
Saturday. Congratulations. Enjoy this one for a little while. We'll see you out here Saturday night at 7.
Well, Garrett, and I love listening to your radio show because you talk about Summer League all the time, and I think that's awesome. One of these days I'll call in there, too.
All right. Well, it's a lot.
thanks
Hopefully
for
you win.
having
We
me
can have you on. Thanks,
By the
Dave.
way, I look better on radio than TV. So.
Yeah, I know that feeling. Dave Patterson joining us, the winning coach for Central Medical Clinic as they win the game and will play in the championship game Saturday night against Walt Strategy Partner. That game at 7 o'clock right here on Olelo, and hopefully you can make it on down one game, winner take all. It's been an exciting summer league, and then down to one game. 2 good games tonight, where an upset in the first game. I think a lot of people would agree. Solar University, defending champs, were the favorite. But you got to give Walt Strategy Partner credit. Julian Sensley said on Tuesday night after the game he has never beaten Artie Wilson in the playoff game. He did do that tonight. And, of course, in the game we just saw concluded, Central Medical Clinic takes care of business. They will meet in the championship game on Saturday. Hopefully you can join us and watch a very good, exciting championship game for the Hawaii College Summer League here on Olelo. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Good night.